You know, I mean,
And we're live.
yeah, he gets into his room more often than not, but the room that he goes to isn't the stream room.
Oh my gosh. But man, like, funny thing, you mentioned the Spawn movie with the CGI. So one of the main guilty like parties of the bad CGI is Malbolgia, right?
Right.
The main devil guy.
Right. Yeah.
So it looked horrible. He looked like an anorexic gremlin.
You want to know why?
It astonishes the fuck out of me that Malbolgia looks like dog shit, but the clown looks perfect.
So here's the thing. Here's the reason for that is
You're
because
talking about Leguizamo?
Leguizamo, yeah.
Yeah.
The reason why Malbolgia looks so bad is they had actually made like a puppet version of Malbolgia that actually looks really good, but last second they decided to CGI it, and they actually had taken a CGI model from like a werewolf movie and stretched out the mouth and like did a really quick like patchwork job of it.
It's Spider-Man 3 all over again. Oh my god.
That's exactly what it was.
Oh my god.
No. Get him off my screen.
Oh shit. We've got off the bag. That's the perfect drop.
Oh my gosh.
Oh Christ.
Oh, you can't really start the show anywhere, so let's get this going. Yo, what's up, everybody? What is up?
How's it going, everyone? Thanks for joining us on episode 154.
Let's get some shirts from Zeeverfett.
Hell yeah, let's go. I mean, you got the holidays coming up. Why not get some shirts for yourself, shirts for your friends? I mean, guys, there's shit on there that's nostalgic, like Spaceballs and Cobra and all kinds of shit. I'm selling a lot of Spaceballs. That's actually the most popular thing right now.
Spaceballs?
Yeah. Scoot over! Scoot over! Your microphone.
Change your mic.
Yeah, so no, you must have the hot special. He doesn't get the reference. It's Back to the Future too.
Yeah.
Oh, is that a good movie?
I didn't understand that reference, and I've seen all three of those movies.
I've never heard of that movie. Is that one of the movies that's going to get remade?
It stars Zac Efron and
I heard that Chris Pratt is going to be playing Marty McFly.
Oh gosh,
Chris Pratt is actually going to be Garfield.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
He is Garfield. Didn't they release the trailer?
They did.
I haven't seen the trailer yet. Let's pull it up.
No,
it's cute. It's cute.
I'll say Garfield.
I mean, cute. Look, I loved it. Look, you know my feelings about Bill Murray, but I love those animated films with and Tim Curry was in the second one, and I love Tim Curry. So
that's right.
A cat of two cities or titty of two cities. Kitty of two cities.
A titty of two cities. There we go. That's the one I saw.
That's the one I saw. I saw it on late night. I don't know why.
Hey, that was when he saw it behind the curtain at the video store.
Oh my gosh. But speaking of holidays, Ryan mentioned that. Be sure to go check out some art as well. Got some new stuff on there.
God.
Why do you react like that?
It takes over the whole screen. It's all about DJ Wart.
I mean, it's a promo for my stuff.
Where's your store? We'll promote it.
Yeah.
Where's the Nickatina?
You go on Teespring, type in my name, and it'll pop right up.
Oh, well, there you go.
Hey.
Shirts and on to other news.
Boots and hats and boots and hats and boots and hats.
We got
what?
We got Donovan Martin in the chat. We'll get into what he's talking about here. We got Nerd Cosa Nostra. What's up, dude?
What's up, everybody?
No, Donovan. We will not.
We love
give that
Nerd Cosa Nostra. We love Nerd Cosa Nostra on the show.
Yes. Sean is amazing, but Donovan, no, we're not going to entertain the idea of Pedro Pascal. He's already in The Last of Us. He's already in The Mandalorian. He doesn't need to be in every Disney. In every franchise.
Let's move on to the comments, please.
We got RJ here saying, why do you have a random pick of James Gunn? Blame Andre for that.
Because he's the head of DC Studios, and anytime DC Studios comes up, we have to talk about it.
What's the random one?
We got Droga here saying, what up, 4Nerds?
What, this one?
Yeah. So freaking creepy. Dr. Wiedrich, Phil, Miss Marvel's sister, and Ryan.
Damn.
Ooh,
that's quite
cool with that. Hey, whatever you want to call me, just don't call me late for dinner. That's all.
Okay, we got Andrew. Hey, what's up, man? Says unfortunately I can't watch live tonight, but I wanted to at least pop in and say, hey, well, I appreciate
what's up,
you, Andrew.
You're
fine. Right there. Welcome and see you soon.
Okay,
that wasn't creepy at all.
That was a
Okay, Kang.
I'll see you later.
But man, like, how are you guys all doing? I feel like I haven't talked to you guys in a couple weeks.
You haven't.
Okay, there you go. That's why. But how's it going?
You haven't because you don't answer my calls when I call you.
Oh, why
You
you calling him
just send
so
me
Your
the
much?
number's
voicemail.
blocked.
Why you calling him so much?
I call him because he's my friend.
Oh,
That
Every
is-
time I call
friend.
Phil, it leads to a 1-800-sex line.
you don't even have my. Oh wait, yeah, you do. You do have my phone number, but you don't fucking call me.
No, I don't.
At least he admits it.
Oh my gosh, that's pretty funny. My gosh. Anyway, how is
Oh my
everybody?
Good.
Good.
Yeah, everything's going good. It's real nice. Weather's great as well. How's the
Voice is
weather
back.
where you're at?
We actually had a
Wet
forest
rain.
fire near us today, so it's like
Wet
smoky
rain.
everywhere.
It is wet and rainy here in California. Yeah. Is it wet up by you, Andre? Is it?
It's
raining?
always wet by
Oh
Andre.
yeah. Oh yeah. It's
yeah.
raining over here. It's been
Especially
super-
Nickatina after dark.
it's been very wet.
I think it is. Is that who I think it
Enosh,
is?
what's up, man?
What's
It
up?
is Enosh. Holy
What's
shit.
up?
Jonathan. What's
yeah.
up, man?
What's up,
Hope
Enosh?
you're doing well. Good to hear from you, man.
Mixed bag of news. What are you talking about?
There's
Oh,
a lot of news today. Well, here's a
Oh,
problem
okay.
that we have.
Here's why.
is
Here's
that
why RJ said that. RJ doesn't like the Madam Web trailer.
He
Oh, there's a
doesn't like
trailer?
it. I didn't think it was that bad. To
There's
be
a-
honest.
oh
with
yeah,
you.
you know what? And I rewatched Across the Spider-Verse
Great movie.
2 nights ago again. Cool. I mean, it'd been a while since I hadn't seen it, and I was like, you know what? Let me watch it because watching movies again.
Oh my god, I don't care. I do not. I don't care.
I mean, what?
Wow.
I mean, what?
I didn't
Wow,
do that.
okay.
I
No,
didn't
no,
do
no.
that.
I know
Bringing that
exactly.
up.
I know the culprit.
What was the point?
I
What
know
was
the
the point of bringing that up? Oh, by the way, I just saw.
Well, Madam
Point
Web.
Break.
Madam
Can we
Web.
talk about that?
Spider-Man related.
Well,
It's
the
all
same fucking universe.
connected.
It's all
Yeah.
connected.
It's all
No,
Did
it's
you
not
not
because
watch
there is
Spider-Verse
no
movie? Do you not like
Spider-Man
the
in that
Spider-Verse
universe.
movie?
You
No.
might even say,
No.
you might
Under-
no,
we
no,
gotta
no,
keep
we are
all
not
that
doing
around.
this
Yeah,
shit
what's the
again.
problem
We're
then?
not doing this right now.
Está tu familia.
I don't want your money. I want Aquaman.
My problem is
yeah,
that
Aquaman.
like, look, I like all those characters and I like the stuff they're doing, but who is the Spider-Man of the universe? Is he's just a no name? Like, doesn't matter. Don't look behind the
It
curtain
doesn't
over
matter.
there.
There's been so many Spider-Mans. It doesn't matter.
So
Thank
I
you,
guess
Phil.
with
Earlier, Phil.
Thank you.
Because earlier Phil was like, "Oh, it worked with Joker." I'm like, "Yeah, but they still had Bruce Wayne, and
But
was
is
a
he
boy.
fucking Batman? Is
But
he
he did- but
fucking
they
Batman in
addressed
that
his
movie?
whereabouts.
No.
He's not, and he
They
was a
addressed his
child.
whereabouts.
When
That's
that
like
dude's in
saying in
his
Venom,
50s.
they're gonna show Peter Parker as like a high school kid, like, "Hey, what's up?" You know what I mean? Like, oh, there he is. Okay, cool.
I mean,
So-
and Across the Spider-Verse, they showed him as a Lego.
I guess the problem I have with this is that like it's sort of compared to when you have a TV show about like side characters, like for instance, like you don't show Batman, but you show like everybody else, all the other characters. But you can't show Batman, you can't show Superman, but you can show Arrow and the Flash. But they're just referenced. That's kind of like, I just want to see like a real universe. But
So the thing that I heard about this, someone I can't
fuck
remember who
me,
it was.
right?
What?
Um,
Gosh. Anyway, let me
no.
say this. I was hearing from somewhere that this movie actually takes place in the early 2000s, which would hint at the future of having a Peter Parker at some point. But I guess this is a great segue to just the trailer, because the trailer from Madam Web came out today, which honestly, I'm not going to lie to you, I had forgotten this movie was being made. I'm just going to
I'm right with you. And I almost forgot about Kraven the Hunter. I forgot about that too.
Yeah, falls in the
forgot
same
about that.
camp as like a movie that I forgot was happening. And so I've seen like mixed reactions on the trailer. For me, I'll just say the trailer gave me vibes of a combination of the Venom movies and a very, very high quality fan film. Like that's kind of the vibe that I got. And honestly,
Like Axel Droga's Red Robin. Boom.
Oh, that's.
here's the thing though with
that
me
stings.
is that this
Sorry, Jordan.
trailer accomplished
And
one major-
Marvel's Birds of Prey.
Oh gosh. But this trailer accomplished one thing. It reminded me the movie is happening. That's the main thing that it accomplished. And like, it's intriguing. Like, did it get me like super stoked? Not necessarily, but it's like, okay.
I mean, it's Sony. Can we watch it?
What?
Okay, here's the thing.
As far as
Sony has
YouTube-
always been hit or miss.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Like they've got. I mean, obviously, people don't really like Venom, but it made a 800
Well-
something million at the fucking box office. So there's some.
Because it was
disconnect
a
there
breath
between-
of fresh air.
Why don't we do
And
this?
like
Let's
after
play
multiple
it.
viewings,
Let's play
it kind of doesn't hold up.
But I guess one thing also that I thought about earlier
You can
today.
always edit it out anyway. So
Yeah, we could. But one thing that also came to mind is that this trailer almost gave me the same vibe as the trailer for New Mutants.
Fair.
where it's intriguing, but it's like, is there enough there to keep me interested?
Yeah,
throughout
kind
the
of like
that
the
movie
Batman.
any good?
It's an interesting
never
concept,
watched it.
but do we really
I never
care?
watched it.
That movie is boring as fuck.
Is it
Batman?
really?
Yeah,
Mutants, New Mutants is boring as fuck. Like it's
and
got
it was
good X-Men characters in
disjointed,
it.
and yeah,
That
Yeah.
what
And
Ryan
it-
just said. It's disjointed. It's a fucking mess. And honestly, between that and Dark Phoenix, basically, what happened to Dark Phoenix and New Mutants is exactly what happened with the last 4 DC movies. Regime change. Once,
Yes.
once a new boss came in, they fucking changed a whole lot of different shit about it.
Let's give Sean a explosion real quick. Showing some love
Thank
for
you,
the
man.
crew
Thank
and
you.
release the air cut. Absolutely. Another thing too with New Mutants, they pitched it as basically like Marvel's Shutter Island. Is
Yeah.
what I kind of feel like they're trying to go for.
Yeah.
Ended up being the most boring thing I'd ever watched.
well,
That's on the-
okay,
you know,
so it went through production or post-production hell.
Yes.
Yeah.
In that it started off probably pretty edgy, pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then they just, it's kind of like what's that other movie? I don't know, Justice League, when it changed hands so much that it's unrecognizable at the end, and and again it's disjointed, it doesn't make any sense, nobody cares.
Not only that,
it
it and Dark Phoenix had post-production
yeah,
hell
Dark Phoenix as
because they couldn't get the cast members back for reshoots.
yeah.
It took them a fuck long time just to get
but-
everyone back around for the
But not only
reshoots.
that, though, I mean, like, you had New Mutants. And like I said, I haven't seen the movie, but I remember reading about it. They actually removed any type of X-Men superhero reference to the
Yes, they
entire within the
Yeah,
entire
they
movie.
did.
So that's like saying
Yes, they did.
it's like saying Justice League, but then that's like saying, oh, but we removed all the DC references. this is where you run the costumes.
And let's start here from Connor Dorian. Here's an explosion for you as well.
hey,
Much appreciated.
thank you so much.
Says Madam Web is the Terminator.
More or less.
Oh my
Whoa,
god!
have
Terminator
you guys
meets Final
seen the
Destination.
Terminator that's going to come out on what, Netflix?
I've
What?
seen the title. I haven't seen the actual
It's anime.
animation.
It's anime, and it's
I haven't
being
seen
written.
it.
It's being written by Mattson Tomlin, who's helping Matt Reeves write Batman Part 2.
You're like, it's being written by James Cameron. Like,
I mean, I'm sure he's got some foothold.
he
probably
has
had to give his
some
okay.
fingers in that.
Yeah.
some-
He probably
somehow,
had to
some
sign
way.
off on it if he had to guess.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
But
RJ here
Fuck knows.
says Madam Web reeks of Morbius. We all know how Morbius went.
Well, RJ, that's your opinion. Let's all remember that now.
I mean, I
wasn't
did
that
watch
bad.
Morbius. Morbius was a movie.
Morbius.
It was all right.
it wasn't
great.
terrible, but it wasn't great.
Morbius
there
was a
you go.
vampire
It wasn't
movie.
terrible, but it wasn't great either.
Yeah.
It's
It
the
like
equivalent
had
of-
potential. That's exactly what Andre was saying earlier. It was like you gave me a movie of Morbius, like 9% of the population knew who the fuck Morbius is, and like
Think about Craven. No one knows who
nobody
the
ca-
fuck
it-
Craven is.
Yeah, dude.
I
I
would
mean,
say Craven has more notoriety than Morbius does.
I can agree with that.
possibly. But I mean, when it comes to Morbius,
Mobius.
Loki.
What do you?
That's Loki.
Mobius
You haven't
should be in
watched
Deadpool
Loki,
3.
so you wouldn't know.
I would.
I'm a
Um,
vampire, okay?
But Morbius,
Vampires. Wow.
the problem with that was that
Morpheus.
it really
That's
confirmed.
Matrix.
It's Matrix. That's Morpheus. That's the MP3 downloading program. Morpheus. I used to have that.
Oh my
But
god.
Morbius is like the TNT movie that you would see back in the day. Like, oh, they made a movie out of this. Now it's just went straight to VHS, and then now it's on TNT.
Sure.
Tight.
More or less.
Sure.
You know what I mean, so it was kind of
Well-
had that feel where it was like, okay, well, don't take this too seriously. But
Morbius
here's
also got
Morbius.
hacked to hell in the editing room too.
That's
Oh
true.
yeah, like the Keaton
You could tell.
cameos and all that
You
shit.
can
It was
absolutely
like,
tell
what
that
the
movie was
fuck?
hacked to shit in the editing room.
Sure. Especially that final fight scene.
Oh yeah.
My
Oh
gosh.
yeah. It's not great,
No. No.
but I've seen worse. Like Catwoman's a movie that exists.
Hey, look. You got Steel. That exists.
Yeah, it's
Real
true.
steel.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's Ghost
And
Rider
that's a
Spirit of
character
Vengeance.
like Shaq is cool guy, but nobody. I mean, I would love to see John Henry Irons realized in a Superman universe,
Right.
but not as a standalone film to start off with. Like what?
No,
What are we
you
doing?
can't do that.
You can't. You've got to start off with the foundation and build on
Because
that.
You
And-
have Shaq, who literally wants to be Superman. So they said, hey, why don't we just do this character and you're just like Superman, you're the Man of Steel. Okay, let's go. Stupid.
Okay, well,
But then it's just like, I want to be Superman. Make me Superman.
Yeah, let's do
Well,
it
it's
right
just
now.
like the guy that wants to that wanted to be. His name escapes me, but wants to be Blade. You know, he's like, just
Mahershala
let me-
Ali.
Yeah, he just
Yeah.
let me be Blade, and they're like, oh, okay. And then
5 rewrites later.
And 2 directors.
Yeah. But going back to Madam Web, it's interesting to me that this movie's called Madam Web, but as I mentioned to you guys in our chat that we have, 4Nerds, they're using Sydney Sweeney a lot in the
Yes, they
promotion
are.
of this
Dude,
movie.
I thought
I'm
she
fine
was
with that.
Madam Web. When
I'm
I saw
still
the
fine with
trailer,
that.
I was like, wait.
I'm gonna watch it.
I was like, where's Sydney Sweeney? I thought she was Madam Web. And then Phil was like, no, she's what is
Julie
it?
Carpenter.
She's a Spider Woman. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what have I been watching or looking at this entire time? I
Can
didn't
we
know
watch
what
the
was
trailer
happening.
now? Can we
Yeah, I
watch
am.
the trailer?
Watch it.
Because I want to see Ryan's reaction to this trailer because it's bound to be hilarious.
I was flabbergasted this morning. I was like, wait, what? I thought
Okay.
she was.
I was
Madam Web.
pleasantly surprised.
No, I mean, yeah, well,
Oh, what? Who's this?
we'll talk about it afterwards.
Okay, I'm gonna pull it up right here.
They did an Aquaman shot.
sip already, damn it! Because I'm clearly in
Oh,
the
hold
Madam
on.
Web minority.
Sorry, I heard my YouTube had opened up, and all of a sudden I thought the sounds come from you guys. So that's my bad. Hold on. Freaking ads.
Ryan, what are you staring at?
I have the screen. I'm watching the trailer.
We're gonna watch it right now together.
Oh, you got it pulled up?
Yeah.
Dawson's getting it pulled up
All
right
right,
now.
She's in the. Okay.
There
On
we
the
go.
bridge. All right. Okay.
Hey, come on. Get your stuff. Let's go.
Black Noir.
Yeah. There's the Aquaman shot with the camera.
Let's try that again.
That was cool.
A week ago, I spent my life racing against time,
I'm gonna help you out today, okay?
trying to save people who were running out of it. Until one moment changed everything.
Who's the baby?
Land of the living.
Peter Parker.
Yeah.
I don't understand what's happening. I've been having visions. I knew he was gonna die. I think I'm seeing the future.
New York City's a whole new level of crazy these days.
What do you want from me? What do you want?
New York City's a whole new level of crazy these days.
This is an emergency. Get off the train.
That man's trying to kill you.
Why?
Who are you? What is going on? I can see the future. Oh, what the hell? She didn't see that coming? That's not how it works. I've seen that man before.
So who is he?
Ezekiel Sims. He was in the Amazon with my mom when she was researching spiders right before she died.
Wait, I recognize you. You live in my building.
You're the paramedic.
Yeah, you almost ran me over. You don't think this is weird? How we're all connected?
Almost
Like
like,
a
it's
web.
Honestly, like the least
I
weird
got it.
thing that's happened all day.
What do you
Yes,
want?
exactly like the web.
I have no
Her
idea
web.
where those girls are coming.
Why don't you run from me?
Oh, she
They're
looks so
all
damn
spider
good in that
ladies?
suit. Okay, so there's 2 Spider Women and Spider
He's
Girl.
trying to change what happens.
Spider Fin.
Get down!
Why aren't you scared of me? Why do you care for me?
The only thing I do not like about this
so
trailer is the
different.
fact that
Why
it's Billie
do you
Eilish.
If you want to live,
that shot was cool.
you have to trust me.
Yes, I like that too. That was neat. That was very Sam Raimi.
Now!
Oh, damn. They dropped the P
Maybe a
on
little.
her.
They did.
So
Okay.
my main question, because like as far as like the Madam Web
fuck
stuff,
cares?
I'm not as knowledgeable. So I know they said the name of the villain, but what's like his character name in the comics? Like
Okay,
what's-
so Ezekiel Sims is in fact a character
Arachnid.
from Marvel Comics. He essentially is more or less an alternate version of Spider-Man. The only difference is he's basically got the entire powers of Spider-Man, but the difference is he can actually he can evade the spider sense, so he can sneak up on spider people and not have their spider sense trigger at all.
Interesting. So
now the whole
like how Venom can,
kind of, but the whole red and black suit, that's all entirely new for this film specifically. But him in the outfit without any shoes, that's straight up from the comics, and he was a character introduced in 2001. J. Michael Straczynski and John Romita Jr.'s run of Spider-Man.
Ooh, JRJR.
So a few of these characters are actually very recently introduced into Marvel canon. Like even Madam Web's look is very much of the reboot-ish kind of look with the red coat and younger. Like that's very much a new thing. Julia Carpenter's been around since Secret Wars.
Yeah.
Spider-Girl, who is being played by the girl who's going to be Hawk Girl in Superman Legacy, she was introduced very recently as well. And then the other Spider-Woman, I have fucking no knowledge of whatsoever.
Okay. Interesting. So I think kind of like what a lot of people are saying in the chat, my main thing with that trailer is that black and red suit, there are some shots where I feel like I've seen some fan films have slightly better suits than that.
Sure.
But it doesn't look terrible. It doesn't look bad.
It didn't look terrible to me. It didn't take me out of it.
I
I was
no,
like,
that's-
oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
That suit looks ridiculous. You want to see ridiculous suits? Go look at fucking Birds of Prey. That's ridiculous suits.
Shut the fuck up.
That's fucking thrift. That's thrift store shopping.
Garbage.
Shut the fuck up.
That is thrift.
That movie's amazing.
store
Fuck you.
Shopping.
The movie's amazing. Fuck you.
The trailer itself. I mean, realistically,
I mean, that's probably why I like it, but you know.
I mean, it could be. It could be. But I'm just saying.
I think that when it comes to Madam Web trailer, that Cortez Hunley is definitely, me and him are on the same page. The only thing positive about this trailer is all the actresses because they're hot.
She was giving
I was like, yeah, that works.
What is that? Was that gray? What the fuck is that gray shit? 50 Shades of Grey. She looked
Dakota
like
Johnson
that girl.
was in because that's who she's from. 50 Shades. Dakota.
That's the same girl.
Yes, if I'm not
with the
mistaken.
same haircut.
You would know. You
Maybe.
own both of them.
Yeah,
I saw it at your house and the novels too.
And the posters. You know?
he tried to play coy. Oh, what was the name
Okay,
of
so
that,
that's I was
50
like,
Shades or
it
something?
looks like fucking 50 Shades of Grey lady. I was like, oh, I didn't know it was. So interesting. And
Man, it's a good thing you're not a cop.
that's what happened. Yeah, that's where she went after she had
It was
sex.
just like the
She
suspect.
went,
I don't know.
became a spy.
I'm here for Sydney Sweeney. She looks fucking great as Spider-Woman. That suit looks spot the fuck on. I'm fucking here for that.
I don't
I'm here
know
for
about the
that.
whole team being like spider people. Like how do they
Spider
get their
family.
abilities? That's why I understand. So at one point they're all going to get like
Like
their abilities.
Peter can't get his team assembled, but they can. Like what? He's like, I'm all alone.
I think my biggest question is like, will this inevitably maybe tie into Across the Spider-Verse in some fashion? Because obviously that film kind of deals with like, the whole web, the canon, the multiverse and all that. And Madam Web has very large ties to the spider version of that, right?
I'm sure that there's the intention to do that, but whether or not they actually like follow through with it.
Right. Because this is Sony. Anything could fucking happen.
RJ, I say this is where you're wrong. I think you can take this movie to the moon.
I predict you're gonna see the Gambino guy from.
This
is gonna hit 800 million.
That'd be hella
easily.
funny. That'd be hella funny.
That would
It'd be even funnier if like Madam Web, Kraven, and Venom 3 like all somehow tied into each other. That would be fucking.
I bet you there's some reference to like one of the Spider-Man, but they're gonna cut it out last minute.
It's Andrew Garfield. You know it is.
That'd be great.
I would like that.
Ecstatic for that.
I think a lot of people would probably like that.
But again, I just like what Andre just said. I hope they don't just chicken out the last second and decide not to connect things, because like that's been the main complaint about a lot of the Sony stuff is that they haven't intentionally connected stuff that's actually made it impactful and meaningful to where you can be actually like, oh, where will this go?
Venom 2, but definitely Let There Be Carnage kind of ties into the MCU Spider-Man a little bit, but that's not nothing to.
But then he immediately goes right
fancy
back.
about. Right, exactly, right. So there's that. And then you look at Morbius and you're like, what the fuck is going on here? So I think for Madam Web, it's like I don't know. I just find it very interesting that this is kind of twisting the comic book genre in a certain kind of way. They're taking lesser known Spider-Man characters and making a movie about it that we probably wouldn't normally see in a Spider-Man movie. So I don't know. There's that novelty
becoming a show.
No, let's not talk about that.
This gives them an opportunity to have a Spider-Man like character that they can make multiple movies about, or branch off and do like the a Spider-Woman movie and then another Madam Web, and so they can do more of these if it works out.
So my main question with that though is that this movie is a little ways off from being released. Obviously, this is the first trailer.
Couple months. Comes out in
Couple
February.
months. But my main question is that since it doesn't have Spider-Man explicitly in it and it has these side characters, we've kind of started to see how side character movies have fared as of late. What will bring people to the theater to see this one, honestly, aside from the star power in the actresses involved?
Sydney Sweeney.
I don't know. She's not a huge pull, though.
I wouldn't underestimate the power of that girl.
In some circles, she is. And but
maybe
not a general.
The gray circles. The Magic Mike ladies might want to go watch her. I don't know. I think it's going to do exactly what the Marvels did. It's going to do nothing. It's just going to be like Morbius, like fucking when Kraven comes out, it's going to do the same shit.
I wouldn't hold your breath on that, Chief. I would not hold your breath on that because this movie's actually testing pretty well, from what I understand.
Real well, I've heard that before.
Well, it's just for me. I don't know. I don't see it making a ton, but I would like to see it surprise me. Like, obviously, I'm not hoping for it to fail.
Oh, sure.
Like, as of right now, it's like, okay, this seems like another Sony movie that may not make bank at the box office.
Like Sony doesn't have a good track record for like releasing bangers.
Yeah.
As far as in the Spider-Verse,
they
other
had
than
real
animated,
like,
films, they really haven't.
They haven't had a banger on their own since.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, Venom. Technically, I mean, regardless of how people feel about it critically, that movie made fucking money.
It made money.
It made a lot of money.
It made enough to make us
not expecting. Exactly, right.
And they're not. I don't think they're doing still Venom 3, or is that
yes?
Just talk?
Oh yes, Venom 3 comes out next November. Sony Marvel is the only studio doing more than one superhero movie next year. They have Madam Web in February. They have Kraven the Hunter in August, and then they've got Venom 3 in November. They have them all spaced out pretty well. And well, I'm looking forward to Kraven too. I think Kraven looks pretty interesting.
I mean, I'll watch it. I like Kick-Ass.
I do too. I like Aaron Taylor Johnson. I think he's a fine actor, and I think honestly,
I think he was done wrong as Quicksilver.
Oh, everybody
yeah. Fuck you, Joss Whedon. But yeah, I think that movie has a shot at being worth a damn. Honestly, Venom 3. You have fans from the last two movies that are probably going to show up for the third one. The big question for Venom 3 is like, what the fuck do you do after Carnage?
Right. Especially if you kind of fumble slightly with Carnage.
Exactly.
You do Madam Web. That's what you do.
Exactly. So I guess another thing from this too is that we've talked about Spider-Man for this universe and whatnot, and like if they do bring in a Spider-Man, I think we'd be hard pressed to see it be Tom Holland. I don't think we would see Tom Holland.
No, I think that Disney Marvel wants to keep Tom for himself unless they do some joint effort again with Sony to do some multiverse thing.
Well, also, I don't think that Tom Holland's jumping at the opportunity to just jump into anything Spider-Man related either. I mean, he's trying to distance himself from Hollywood a bit.
Well, they're still trying to hash out the story for the fourth film.
Yeah,
he hasn't signed on for anything yet at all.
Right.
So there's that to take into consideration. Honestly, I don't think they need to really establish who a fucking Spider-Man is in this universe. They can pull any one of them if they want to, or they can bring a brand new one in. It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
Now, my main question is that I think it would be intriguing to see them bring in a new one, but of course, everybody's talking about the main one they'd want to bring in is, Andrew Garfield, which I feel like would match the vibe of a lot of these a little bit more than say, Tobey Maguire or Tom Holland, for instance. But if they did bring in a new one, I think it'd be intriguing that if they had I guess this is obviously just kind of jumping the gun a little bit here, but what if they brought in a live action version of the Into the Spider-Verse Miles Morales and make him that Universe of Spider-Man, or maybe have him just interact with them?
I think that's who they do next. Instead of rebooting Peter yet again, I think they'll just go forward with, if they go with another solo Spider-Man movie, it will be the Miles Morales Spider-Man.
I think even
forward. That's why they're he's in the Across Spider-Verse franchise. He's in the video games. They're really pumping him out for mainstream audiences to kind of get to know and get to understanding and just sort of be okay with, right?
I think Tom Holland has even expressed as such that if he's going to do Spider-Man again, he wants to pass the torch off to Miles, which would track.
Absolutely. And real quick, another $2 super chat from Connor.
Hey.
Here's your explosion. In response to Phil's question about what you do after Carnage, he says you do Toxin for Venom.
Toxin was kind of set up at the end of Let There Be Carnage. You're not wrong.
Yeah,
I could see that happening. I can also see maybe Phage and Scream and the other ones they didn't bother doing in the first film when they only did Riot. So, I don't know. I honestly do not know who you do for a third Venom movie. what villains do you honestly do?
What's
Like,
your main big draw? And the big draw was Carnage.
Carnage.
Like when you think Venom, you think Carnage like synonymously.
Well, the thing too is
Or
that
Spider-Man.
obviously the
But I
first
don't
the
think
first
that
two
brings
movies you had a different symbiote as the villain.
Right.
Now, do you do the same for a third movie, or is it just kind of going to feel like retreading to a lot of viewers? I think that's where a lot of people are going to lean, like, oh, another symbiote he's fighting. This will turn out different this time, I'm sure.
But hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I mean, I guess fair. You
I
also
mean,
have
but
Noel
I think
here.
it was broke because like Carnage didn't do a lot of money, right?
We have to keep in mind the first Venom movie came out before streaming was a thing. Venom: Let There Be Carnage came out during the pandemic, after streaming was a thing. So
That
box
definitely
office
impacts
numbers
it,
are
sure.
fucking very different now.
Okay, it's not as beloved as the first Venom movie.
100% true too.
Yeah,
So
very true.
I retreading would be it'd be easy for them to just do the same thing. Hell, Ivan Reitman did it with Ghostbusters and
he
some
did.
other movies after that. You know, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Same thing at Marvel. Marvel has their cookie cutter thing that they do.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, it could easily work, but it's like, you know, if you do another symbiote, the only thing I would do is I would have him somehow fucking go to the world of or the planet of the symbiotes or whatever,
Yeah.
and fucking do something out. You know, I mean, he's a fucking alien. Do something
Yeah,
out.
with Null, or how you pronounce it, Knoll or Null?
It's null.
Null, yeah.
It's null.
I
But-
mean, everybody in the chat's
I don't
basically
know.
saying that as well.
Oh, well, there
Yeah.
you go.
I have
Wait,
no
listen.
idea if Sony's even like bright enough to do that, but
Well, Domin here is saying that MCU should do it and not Sony, which I could definitely understand that sentiment to an extent.
subjective sentiment, honestly, because whether or not it's Marvel or Sony, people are gonna bitch one way or the other. Like, hear me out, okay? Because when after Amazing Spider-Man 2 did what it did at the box office, people were like, "Yay, Spider-Man's going over to Marvel Studios." Marvel Studios does the thing with Spider-Man, and people were like, "Man, fuck this. He's Iron Man Jr." You're not gonna make everybody happy.
Yeah.
Sure.
Inevitable. Like, people are going to bitch one way or the other, depending on what studio does what storyline. Be it Sony, be it Marvel, it does not fucking matter. People are gonna bitch one way or the other.
Well, yeah, because like with these characters, you know, obviously there's so many comics of these characters and by different writers, therefore there's gonna be slightly different personalities, slightly different ideas. So if you pick one certain way, you're gonna piss off fans who maybe don't like that version or whatnot, and that's the danger you come into when it comes to superhero content. Because like you guys have said, you know, comic fans can be the most passionate but also finicky fans out there.
Yeah.
And that's just me being self-aware about it. You know, that's the group we run with. It's very
that's why No Way Home is so beloved, because it brought all of them together,
Right.
Yeah.
and they couldn't really bitch.
Yeah. I mean, they got everything they wanted.
Yeah.
Even if one Spider-Man wasn't
And then
for you, the
so
other
where
one
do you
was.
go from there? Even though it set up a solo Tom Holland outing in a different suit and all that, and nobody knows who he is, and blah blah blah. You know, people just kind of go back to like, okay, well, I'm going to sulk again until something amazes me.
Yeah, for sure.
It's also
got
important to
Venom
note
Fernandez here
that
too.
What's up, man?
No Way Home is also the last superhero movie to crack $1 billion at the box office.
Yeah.
And that was 2 years ago. So
It's already been 2 years. Holy cow.
yeah, this December, 2 years.
Oh yeah.
Jeez.
Not one superhero movie has cracked $1 billion since No Way Home.
And
Multiverse of
speaking,
Madness came close, but not quite.
it did get close. But speaking of box office, we'll just start talking about this a little bit.
Oh,
Andre's gonna have me come back here in a little bit.
He's making on the toilet.
I see. But so the Marvels opened its first weekend with
That did.
40 plus million domestically and 60 million.
7 point something million, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
it got up to 47 because last I heard it was 42.
That's only domestic for the record.
Oh,
I
okay.
think
Yeah,
worldwide it made like 130 million. So
Yeah, well,
Eh.
if that. And so like less than the Flash did opening weekend, which obviously we all know did terribly. And I believe the
Yeah.
Marvels is one of the most expensive movies they've done just because of the reshoots they had to do. And so
Oh, hey, hold up. Before
Oh.
we do that, we do
Got
have another
another-
super chat. Spider-Man 4 should do Kingpin.
yes,
ooh,
I agree completely. It should be Kingpin, it should be Spider-Man, it should be Daredevil. And it should also have oh god, who else did I have in mind? Scorpion. They should make good on that promise from Homecoming and bring in Scorpion as a hired gun for
Sure,
Kingpin.
yeah.
yeah,
100%.
finally fulfill
I
that
agree with
promise.
that.
Yeah.
Here's explosion. And
thanks a lot, man. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely. And Will, I do like Will's point here. The $1 billion standard needs to go away. I agree. It should have been gone a long time ago. It really
I didn't
should
say
have
that
been
as a point of like it's a standard. I'm just pointing
right.
out the fact that that's the last superhero film to crack $1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Exactly.
But then again, it's a Spider-Man movie featuring 3 different Spider-Men in it. Of course, it was probably going to crack $1 billion.
Yeah, absolutely. But back to the Marvels here. Again, making less than The Flash in its opening weekend, which we all know how much of a disaster that was financially speaking. And it doesn't really look like there's a positive, path in sight for the Marvels. I mean, obviously, there's some movies that have legs that can keep going. And I haven't seen the movie, so I can't really speak on the quality.
I haven't seen it. The only person on here that's seen it is Andre, and he's not here to defend the movie that he clearly loved.
Clearly. But I've seen mixed reactions to it. I've seen people compare it to Justice League. I've seen people say it's like really, really fun. Now, here's the thing, though, is that I've seen some positive reviews, and almost in every single one of them, they say the
word
phrase
fun is probably present, right?
Huh?
The word fun is probably present in all the positive reviews.
The word fun is present, but there's also a very common phrase in a lot of them that says, wasn't nearly as bad as I expected.
Wow.
So when you say that doesn't give me a lot of confidence to go and see it. When you're like, oh, it wasn't as bad as I expected it to be, it's like, okay, well, then you probably expect it to be pretty atrocious.
Yeah, it was a little refreshing.
It's like, okay.
I think when it comes to cinematic universe films,
could have been worse.
At least for me, because obviously, you look at other DC films that have come out, like they all get compared to, The Dark Knight, right? Or they get compared to fucking Joker or whatever. Like they get compared respectively to other films outside the universe. I think, like, for me anyway, I try and just keep the bar set within that cinematic universe. For example, the X-Men movies, right?
Yeah.
I'm not particularly favorable of Days of Future Past or Apocalypse. I'm actually in the minority. I actually kind of like Dark Phoenix. I also think that Deadpool and Deadpool 2 are probably the best X-Men movies ever made outside of X-Men First Class and X2, X United. But literally, like when it comes to superhero films, like at least for me, I try and keep the bar within that respective universe. So when it comes to the MCU, obviously the bar for me is the top of the cream of the crop, as far as I'm concerned, is Winter Soldier, Doctor Strange, and Spider-Man No Way Home. Like that is my bar for just outstanding, fantastic Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. And if I want to throw an Avengers movie in there, Avengers Infinity War. Now, looking at the Marvels, I'm like, okay, this can't be any worse than Thor Love and Thunder or Thor Ragnarok, because those are the fucking bottom of my bar.
Yeah.
But to me, there's no way this film is as good as any of the 4 that I just listed, right?
No.
So it's got to be somewhere in that middle medium ground. Where exactly will it lie? I don't fucking know, because I have not watched the movie yet. But I am a fan of Nia DaCosta. I did like her Candyman reboot. So I have faith that to some extent, this film is at least somewhat cohesive and somewhat coherent, unlike the fucking train wrecks that Taika Waititi has made.
That is true. But with that, since we say we haven't seen it, there is one person on this panel that has. That's Andre down here.
Oh, the Marvels?
Yeah.
Okay, look.
You were raving about the cat scene. Tell us about the cat scene.
So RJ says it's not a horrible movie, but it's not a good movie either. It's just fine. It's me. No, here's the part. The first half of the movie, it's tolerable. You're like, okay, I get it. And then all of a sudden, it takes a fucking nosedive when they go to like the singing planet, and you could tell that
there's a singing planet.
So it goes from being a Marvel movie to a Disney musical, is what you're saying.
Yeah. So they go to a planet,
Guardians of the Galaxy,
where everybody sings and dances, and that's how they communicate. And I had a lot of problems with that scene as well. But the cat scene was stupid. It was ridiculous.
Wait a minute.
They integrated 2 big scenes into this movie that were essentially, if you cut them out, they would really have no impact on the overall story. They were just kind of like they dedicated a lot of time to these 2 scenes. So if you remove those 2 scenes, you're looking at a movie that's probably around like 1 hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah,
because it was 1 hour and 45.
I mean, it's already one of the shortest MCU films, isn't it?
Right. So do you think this film was hacked to shit in the editing room?
It could have been, but I think what it comes down to was that they didn't even have a strong enough story to begin with, and so they dedicated more time to these scenes as filler to extend the length of this movie. Because, I mean, realistically, sort of what Griffin Schiller said, I totally agree with, is that it felt like a season finale of a show that never existed. Wow. And that was the problem I had with it. At one point, Dar Ben, who is the villain, You know,
who also happens to be the actress. Sorry to interject, but the actress actually also happens to be married to Tom Hiddleston. So there's
she's
that too.
literally trying to
take
air and water from different planets and take it to her planet because her planet needs it, right?
They tried that in Falls and it did not work.
She's Kree, right? Like Dar-Benn is a Kree.
She's a Kree, and so the home world of Hala is not doing too well. And so it's because of the events of Captain Marvel Part 1. And so I liked some aspects of it. Like I liked how they gave her an arc. They gave Dar-Benn an arc in the sense that like she's doing this to try and save her planet. But like the pure science of it, I was like, wait a minute, hold on. You just took a bunch of air from a planet and then transported it through a portal to your planet. Like you've just wiped out your entire civilization because all the microbes and bacteria and viruses that are flying around the air, you can't breathe that air. All the water they dumped on that planet, I'm like, dude, you just killed your entire planet. And so I get it. It's a Marvel movie. It's kind of like, hey, just don't think too hard about it. You know, but I can't because it's like this is really dumb. Like this doesn't make any sense.
You know what cracked me up about I saw an interview of Brie Larson leading up to this movie, and she was talking about the guy that was like the king of that singing planet. He's a South Korean actor who was in a very popular show called What's Wrong with Secretary Kim.
Yes.
And so I know him. My wife had shown me that show. And I saw Brie Larson in an interview saying, oh, he's like the most popular guy or most famous actor I've ever worked with. It's like, you worked with Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty
and
sure.
Robert Downey Jr. Yeah.
Yeah. And Chris Pratt, and Chris Evans, like all these guys, pretty worldwide famous. And I don't know.
Maybe she thinks they're douchebags. I don't know. But,
you know, she probably meant from like that corner of the world.
Probably.
Possibly. I don't know. But, you know. That had to have been like post-strike too.
But this right here, like this really good scene with Kamala and Carol arguing
I've heard
about
this
saving
scene.
civilians. And yeah, that was in the first half of the movie. And so, you know, you have this kind of build up to, you know, they're trying to save all these scrolls from this planet where they've created like you know, a colony on.
Yeah.
And you know, Kamala's telling everybody like, it's fine, you guys. You know, you guys don't worry. Captain Marvel will make things right. I know she will. 'Cause she's a huge fan. She idolizes her, right? So they were clearly setting it up to where when she finds out that she's the reason why the planet of Hala is in such bad shape and people are dying, then you would have that scene where she's like, where she realizes, hey, like you hurt all these people and you've done nothing to save it. And so you would have had that kind of realization scene where she'd have to come to grips with like, you know, I don't idolize you anymore. I thought wrong of you. You're not perfect, you know? But they never had the scene. It just didn't exist. And so it was like, okay, so the conflict that you would have had, either you filmed it and cut it out or you just didn't bother to explore it at all. Monica Rambeau and Captain Marvel had this thing going on in the beginning where, you know, she hasn't talked to Monica in like, you know, she hasn't she hasn't actually sat down and talked to her this entire time. And so they have this kind of a, you know, Nick Fury's like, well, you guys do need to talk one of these days. You know that, right? But he's saying it over a comm when they can both hear it. It was kind of like, what the fuck? But, and then they kind of just dropped that. Like that, they started to build that up and then they just dropped it. And then they dedicated so much time to the cat scene that I was just like, that was the part where I was like, dude, what am I watching right now? Like, what the fuck is this? I mean, you have Kamala running around with the furling cat, and it's just eating people because they're trying to save people. Basically, they have to evacuate this space station, and they calculate that there's not enough life pods for everyone on the station. Which
again another Spaceballs reference.
Yeah, I'm like, what is this, like Titanic? What the fuck? And so then, in order to get them off the space station, they have to have the kittens that are hatching everywhere eat all of the crew members and then take all the kittens and put those in a escape pod and they can get everybody off the ship. But Kamala's family, you don't eat them because they were there helping herding the cats into the pod. It was like, okay, so you eat the scientists and the engineers, but the Kamala's parents, no, don't eat them. It just didn't make any sense. And the fact that they were even there was like
spoiler territory.
I don't give a fuck. It was fucking terrible.
I was like, wait a minute, you're giving away the whole movie. They're not going to make
shit. you haven't even seen it yet. You haven't seen it yet, and you haven't seen it yet.
Movie.
No one's gonna give a shit.
I do have a question for you, Andre. I did see. They didn't explain the scene, but there was somebody who was giving a non-spoiler review where they mentioned that the characters had referred to a scene earlier in the MCU that none of them would have been aware of happening, as if they were like they're watching it. I don't know if you.
I don't remember which one it was.
Okay,
I don't remember.
Yeah, they didn't explain exactly what it was, but anyway.
In Venom, it's like even by telling you this scene, it makes no difference to the overall story. Like you could have cut that whole scene out and just been like, we have to evacuate the station, and then cut to like after they evacuate, and the story would have just kept on going. It made no impact on the story. So I was like, why are we spending so much time on this scene, and it has no impact on the overall story? Like it was so stupid. It was just so dumb.
The director was like, more kitties.
Now, Cortez asked about the post-credit scene. Yes, those post-credit scenes, I loved them. I like both of them. I thought they were both really good. The second one in particular.
No, there's a mid-credit scene, and then there's the ending of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the ending of the movie and a post-credit scene. But, like, they were both really good, though. I liked both of them.
Okay.
Tell them about Beast.
God damn it.
Spoiling everything.
You're spoiling. That I wasn't going to spoil because that's the post-credit scene.
I knew that happened.
So did I. I knew that was going to happen, too. Like, 6 people
all
said
over
that to
the
me, and I was like, oh, cool, thanks.
Madam Web just released it all.
Yeah, she released it all right next to Sydney Sweeney.
Quite possibly.
But no, it's, Monica wakes up and the fact that she's there, that was another plot hole where I was like, the way she got there, I was like, that doesn't need to happen that way. You could have done it like this and you'd have been fine. Why did you do that? Like, whatever. Okay. But, that's like, we got to seal the door and everyone's inside the house. I'm just an example. And you're like, I'll seal the door. And you go outside and you seal the door. And they're like, well, you can't get back in. There's no way to stop it now. It's kind of like, wait, you would have sealed it from the inside.
You can't stop it once it started.
It's kind of like, what?
So they do the ending of Kingdom Hearts? Okay. That's
cool.
She
has to close the portal. But she goes on the other side of it, which I was like, why'd you do that? Why didn't you do it from yours?
I basically fucking plotted it.
I can't stop. It's too dangerous.
Real quick, we got another super chat from Connor Dorian. Here's your explosion. I think he's referring to the question I asked Andre about the scene that they refer to something early in the MCU. It says it was when Captain Marvel killed the Supreme Intelligence. So maybe that'll ring a bell for Andre.
Well, I remember when they talked about it, but
I heard that actually they show off the Supreme Intelligence in this movie, and it actually looks like the Supreme Intelligence from the comics too. So
yeah, they
that's cool, I suppose
she does. So she does reference it, like she talks about it, like, oh yeah, the crew were being controlled by. This is when she admits what she had done, and she goes, they were being controlled by an AI, a Supreme Intelligence, and I destroyed it, and they weren't like. I mean, in real life, Kamala and Monica, or I don't know about Monica, maybe she researched it already, I'm not sure, but Kamala would have been like, the fuck are you talking about? Like, you were on another planet? What was that like? They were just like, oh, okay, yeah, okay, cool. You know what I mean? They were just like, accepting
that tracks.
That tracks. It makes sense.
It was like me telling you about a story about how I went to a different planet and did something. You were just like, oh man, that's crazy. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, okay. It was just like, oh, okay. But, as Venom says, props to Kelsey Grammer. The end credit scene, it shows Maria Rambeau as obviously binary, which is another form of Captain Marvel that she turns into. But the thing too about that, it's like when I saw that, I thought, okay, so in this universe, was Maria Rambeau always Captain Marvel, and did she ever powers drained by Rogue and then go through the whole sequence where she became binary? I don't know. I was like, maybe, because that way maybe you can have a Rogue from this world who can fly and have superhuman strength.
Sure.
Which is possible.
I heard that they didn't even bother like putting Kelsey Grammer in like any kind of makeup. It was all CGI.
Pretty much. It was all CGI. Depressing. I thought maybe it was a mocap suit, but like
that's depressing.
When she turns and talks to him, like he looks really cool. But it looks like he's talking
just super
to like.
Fluffy.
That's
he looks like
she's talking to a tennis ball. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Well, because she is.
He's right there. You know what I mean? And but the cool thing about it though.
Sully.
He looks like
Sully.
Sully.
Yeah,
It's Kitty. Kind of sitting there.
But but the look of Beast, was way better, and it looked a lot like the X-Men animated series, like that type of look.
Yeah.
Where you had the
From what I saw,
on
that's
the bottom.
Yeah.
That's why I think X-Men 97 is probably going to be the origin of those X-Men, or could be at least.
It'll
That's
probably
what they're
inspire
Tell
the
them
X-Men.
about your theory.
Which one?
About all the old X-Men and how they're gonna close off the universe with the old X-Men and not the Days of Future Past, younger counterparts or whatever.
Well,
And that's why Boner is not, anybody.
Well, he's nobody, but I mean, I think that if the X-Men 97 series is meant to be like kind of an origin story for like that group of X-Men on that planet that Monica Rambeau is stuck on, or that universe, I should say, I think that they're going to do kind of a mixture of it. Before I was like, oh, it's going to be just straight, 2000s X-Men, badass. But because it depends on where it takes place. If it takes place, like if Deadpool 3 takes place right after, Days of Future Past, then those X-Men are in. But I have a feeling it's not. I have a feeling a lot of Deadpool is going to take place, like probably on the TVA, where you're going to have Wolverine. Like that's where he's going to see Wolverine for the first time. Yeah. And he, it's probably gonna have one of those like he falls in love scenes. And like, oh, there he is, because he wants to be Wolverine. His best friend. Yeah,
I've been fondling your balls for years to get my own movie. Now I have a trilogy, and you're in it.
Or like that, like from Wayne's World when he first meets the girl. He's watching her on the stage, and she's playing rock music, but in his eyes, she's playing "Oh Dream."
She will be mine. Oh yes,
and he's like, wow.
She will be mine.
Yeah, so, but no, and so I think
it'd be more like Madagascar, when Alex and I forget the zebra, they're running. It looks like he's gonna hug him, but then all of a sudden, Alex, yeah, and Wolverine is Alex because he has claws. He's like, it's like, oh shit.
But no, I think we're gonna get the X-Men. I just don't know if it's gonna be the old X-Men or I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a combination of. I mean, just who they want, because at this point now they can basically put whoever they want on this planet. Like you can have Fassbender's, Magneto, and just give him gray hair. You know what I mean? Or and then you can have, Hugh Jackman Wolverine. And, yeah, who knows?
I think that's kind of the implication. I mean, look at Multiverse of Madness, right? Like they had Patrick Stewart in a straight up X-Men 97 looking Charles Xavier getup, right? Like they had that. They have Hugh Jackman in the typical yellow suit that we all know Wolverine from. They've got, and now we've seen it. Well, we have yet to see, but we will.
She's in it, right?
She might be. I don't know. But you know, you've got fucking like Andre just mentioned, you got Kelsey Grammer back as Beast, looking like Beast from X-Men 97. I think the intent there is probably going to be Kevin Feige's looking at the old cast from that first batch of X-Men films and going, yeah, I'm just going to put them all in X-Men 97 outfits and call it a fucking day.
Yeah,
probably.
Right before they reboot everything.
Sure. Why not?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
You figure after Secret Wars, because Secret Wars 2015 was essentially it was worlds colliding together. So I think what they're going to do is kind of Battle World, and so they're going to take that inspiration and they're going to basically combine the worlds are going to combine together, and then I think that's when they're going to kind of restart the MCU
probably,
and probably lean heavily into the X-Men, and you'll have a whole new cast and just kind of go from there. But
and then Ben Affleck shows up.
Yes, as Daredevil.
I don't know what they're going to do, to be honest, because they're over here trying to start the Young Avengers, but it's kind of like, is that going to conclude at Secret Wars? I don't know.
Well, speaking of like reboots and stuff, like we also have the whole report of them getting rid of the whole Kang thing.
I don't buy this shit, but
okay, so it's important to note, like also as of today, Daniel Destin Cretton is no longer directing Kang Dynasty, and there are rumors swirling that film is either going to be scrapped or reworked into something else entirely. Which, if you think about the setup for the end of the Marvels, where Kamala Khan fucking recruits Kate Bishop. Sorry, spoilers for everyone who hasn't seen the movie yet.
You son of a bitch.
Yes, I am. But there's that, and then there's also the way Loki ends, which very much gives them the leeway to literally do whatever the fuck they want, be it recast Kang or choose someone else entirely. Loki sets that up in a near perfect way. So if rumors are true and Kang Dynasty just gets completely reworked into a Young Avengers film, or they scrap it, what the fuck ever, best case scenario, they get someone else to direct the movie and they still move forward with Kang Dynasty. That to me feels like the thing that they should do, because you really should just recast Kang at this point.
Yeah. Denzel Washington.
No.
No, but like just recast, because like you can have a variant, because like variants of characters have looked different from regular ones in the past. Like have one of the variants just look different.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there's a deadline article, or the headline at least.
Yes.
But this can go in a number of different ways too. It could be that he's departing because they're going a different direction. He's like, well, I'm going to go focus on other projects until you guys figure out what you want to do.
This
Or it could be
article
just-
also more or less confirms that Wonder Man is not in fact canceled.
Yeah.
So there's that too.
Remember how that was canceled at one point?
Yeah,
But I
because
think-
Joanna Robinson got it fucking wrong.
Exactly.
Just
but I
saying.
think what the projects he's involved in, Shang-Chi 2 or Shang-Chi 2 and Wonder
You
Man.
had it right, Shang-Chi, yeah. All right.
Whatever. It could be that they're like, hey, look, let's have him focus on these two projects, and we'll hire somebody else to solely focus on probably King Dynasty and Secret Wars, because I would imagine whoever directs that is probably going to direct the next one as well. Kind of what they did with the Russo brothers, how they did Infinity War and Endgame. It could be something like that.
Did also see that Michael Waldron is actually now, in fact, handling both this film and Secret Wars. Doesn't surprise me in the slightest. He was the one who handled Multiverse of Madness. He was also he was the lead writer on Loki season 1. He's an EP on Loki season 2. He's the multiverse guy, and it doesn't shock me at all that he's the one taking the reins as far as writing goes on this and Secret Wars. Not at all.
Yeah.
Well, but I think that when you have a guy like this who's already a part of 3 projects, they're probably like, hey, look, let's just get somebody else. Ray Fisher as Kang. Oh my God, Alejandro.
I wouldn't mind that. I'd be totally fine with that.
Alejandro.
He's
He's definitely intimidating enough.
But I just don't think that they've spent all this time. They've spent 2 years, probably 2+ years, building up and building up Kang just to say, okay, we're gonna find a way to kind of scoot him off to the side, and then we're gonna do Fantastic Four.
If they did that, it'd be a total Justice League move, and I don't think Kevin Feige's dumb enough to do that.
Because how do you introduce Doctor Doom? You'd have to do it in the Fantastic Four movie, which would come out not this year but next year, or 2025.
And you would hope that everybody would just sort of shift their focus as well. Like,
does everyone remember all those rumors swirling that Doctor Doom was going to show up in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, and then it totally didn't fucking happen? That was so funny. Oh my God! This is why you don't believe scoopers, everybody.
Well, and that's the thing is that do I think that they actually had that meeting where they discussed the possibility of pivoting to Doctor Doom? Yeah, I think that's probably something that they talked about.
Yeah.
But after you watch the ending of Loki and after you've watched the ending of some of these films, there's no way that they're going to pivot away from Kang. At this point, you have to ride it out.
You do.
How are you going to do a multiversal war with just Doctor Doom?
Yeah.
Right.
The whole point of assembling a team was to fight against the Kang Dynasty. You have thousands of Kangs coming together.
Right.
And so I think you're going to get like an Endgame type of scene like you had before.
Yeah, I mean,
but it's going to be
they've also changed Thanos.
Everyone.
Right?
They changed the actor.
They changed the actor? And they're going to change the actor again.
Yeah.
They might. I mean, does anybody really care? I mean, is it really that big of a deal? I don't think
Yes,
not really, no.
We're done. All
Not
right,
really,
moving on.
no, not at all. Because the ending of Avengers was just like, hey, what if we did this kind of thing? And then when time came to actually do it, they're like, okay, we need to get someone with gravitas in this role.
Well, speaking about casting,
Sorry.
we got
You're
all good. Speaking about casting, we got another super chat real quick from Connor Dorian. To your support, Connor. He says here, what do you think about Pedro Pascal being rumored to be cast as Mr. Fantastic?
I say bullshit.
Oh, is
bullshit.
it confirmed?
It's not quite confirmed, but Deadline has said that he is in talks to do so. The thing to remember is he's got Last of Us Season 2, Mandalorian, Gladiator 2 all on his docket next year. According to Justin Kroll, though, his schedule just might align so he can do it. And I put more credence into Justin Kroll than all these fucking scoopers because Kroll's sources usually pan out more often than not. This is the guy who broke the casting on the Batman. So I'll put his word over any of these fucking idiots any day of the fucking week, dude. But Pedro Pascal is Mr. Fantastic. Like, I get it. Like, the daddy energy is there, and they're probably going to do, like, Mr. Fantastic. No, not really. Not really. I don't know, and I don't care, but that's not the point.
For me, like, Pedro Pascal, he's a good enough actor to do it, no doubt.
Right.
Like, can I see him as Mr. Fantastic? Not necessarily. I would have to see how he looks, how they approach the look of Reed Richards.
When he'd do it.
John Krasinski was like 47 when he did it in Multiverse of Madness.
See, and that's the thing too, is I still would be more than happy to see John Krasinski do it again because
he was right there.
Well, here's the thing: is
I didn't think it, Ian.
He was right there
again because people had fan casted, John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic for years, and they finally got that fan cast, and then they complained and moaned about it, and they're like, "Oh, it wasn't like Reed Richards that I know. He had 3 lines."
Yeah,
Like,
he had a
what the
very small
freak?
role.
And he got pulled apart like a fucking Play-Doh.
That was funny.
But what's
That was
interesting
funny.
too is that when he arrived
Ian
there,
Griffith is 50 years old as well. Now.
he teleported there the same way that the Kangs were teleporting into that.
Yes, he did.
The scene at the end of
absolutely right.
Quantumania.
Yes.
With the
Yeah.
two, you know, so I was
That's
like, oh
true.
shit.
It's the same technology because technically, Kang
Krasinski's
is
pretty fun.
Kang is a descendant of Ray Richards.
He is.
Well,
Yeah.
and the other thing too that no one's really been talking about lately is that, and I actually had it in my video, but I cut it out because I was kind of
Oh,
rambling.
good.
But the Kang the Conqueror, like when he was defeated in Quantumania, you never saw him die. He just got hit. He got pushed into the energy core.
Yeah,
he got
but
sucked
they
in,
more or
so-
less they more or less kind of confirm he's dead at the end of Loki season 2.
No one's ever really gone.
pretty much.
This is a multiversal character.
But as
Yeah,
far as Pedro Pascal's age, though, I don't see that as a problem because
Neither
Mr.
do I.
Fantastic, he doesn't have to be ripped or in like superhero shape. He just has to be like
No.
thin.
Lengthy.
Yeah, just
Just
thin and
lengthy.
healthy.
Haven't
looking.
you seen Anthony Starr as Homelander? He has fake muscles. Nobody cares.
Yeah,
Like
Plus,
Zachary
like,
Levi
Reed
Shazam.
like
Excuse
Reed
me.
Richards isn't a
It's
buff
just
guy.
real.
Most iterations, he's not like a super buff guy. He's just healthy looking.
Yeah.
He's a scientist.
And his blonde hair is real too.
That's true. His
Now,
blonde.
the real question comes, like, if he does sign on the dotted line and he does get confirmed as Reed Richards, then who the fuck else do you get to play the other three? That is
They
the big
have
question.
Gotta be older
Oh, they
people.
have Sue Storm already, and
No,
yeah,
they
do.
don't. Don't you
I-
dare say Vanessa
that's
Kirby.
Diane
Don't you
I
Keaton.
thought
dare
they
say
already
it.
confirmed that.
No,
Let me see.
no. Vanessa
It-
Kirby was asked, and she was like, "Oh yeah, that'd be nice. I'd love to." She never outright said she was going to be Sue Storm.
Well, she could also just not be
Let me
confirming
see what
it because
Google
she's not allowed
says,
to.
and
But
if it's-
And
This
you
is
know
true.
they should get what's his face, Chris Evans back as the
That would be
Torch.
fucking hilarious.
yes,
That'd
be funny.
fucking-
I mean,
I-
it'd just be like Brandon Routh coming back as Superman. You know, when he was the Atom.
yeah,
So
yeah, I could see
Chalk it
that.
up to being Johnny. He's older, and also, you know, like Krasinski mentioned in the Multiverse of Madness film, like they have kids. I don't doubt one bit that Franklin and Valerie, Victoria, whatever their daughter's name is. I don't doubt at one bit that Franklin and Sue's kids are going to be in the movie,
Yeah.
like at all. I'm pretty sure they're probably going to be there.
RJ brings up another name.
Well,
That
Samuel
I
L.
would,
Jackson.
No, that I
No,
would like
but
for
I
Miss
agree
Fantastic
with-
is Matt Smith. I like Matt Smith.
Oh yeah,
as
that'd
Mr.
be good.
Fantastic a
That's-
lot.
That feels really safe and easy, though.
It does.
Well,
It
so does Pedro Pascal. It's like, oh, okay, you got the guy
Look,
that
Gavin.
everybody
Yeah,
likes.
but
Okay.
Pedro Pascal has twice the fucking range Matt Smith does.
Well, I know, but like
I've
getting
seen
Pascal
Wonder
is
Woman
kinda like, oh, so
84,
you got
and
the,
I don't think so.
you got the Last of Us, and you got the
Fucking movie
Mandalorian.
compared to a bunch of other shit, Chief.
I don't know. I feel like Matt Smith matches it quite a bit for me.
I mean,
Either that or
look-wise,
I don't know
yeah,
because
I
Matt Smith
suppose.
has that look like you just want to punch him in the face. So I don't know
Well,
if he's really the guy who's like he does. He
That
has
sounds
that,
like a
that
personal
smug,
problem.
Yeah, I
No, he
know,
has a
that's,
smug villain look where you're
You
just
sure
like,
you're
oh.
okay?
Did you
Dr.
watch Miss
Doom.
Doctor Who?
I know. I saw him in Terminator.
Genesis.
What was it? Terminator Genesis.
Genesis.
I
Yeah.
was like,
yeah.
what's happening?
No, he would have been a great Palpatine, young Palpatine.
And that was weird too. Is that like he was supposed to be in the Rise of Skywalker, but
yes, he
no
was.
And they cut his rollout. Yeah.
they
That's
cut
right.
his roll out, which is kind of
He
like,
was
Which
well,
is
just
some
bizarre.
speculated that he would have been a younger Palpatine.
I think so.
It
that-
shows how he
yeah.
had grandchildren.
Yeah, or something like that.
The lineage.
All of a
How
sudden,
did you make it back? Well, let me show you.
What is your family name?
all of a sudden, you see him like dancing like he does in Morbius, trying
Oh,
to woo a
God.
girl from Naboo.
Has anyone ever told you about the story of Snoke? Conqueror. Snoke the Conqueror.
No, but I mean, if
No.
if Kang the Conqueror were to
Who?
come, like, it wouldn't surprise me if that version of Kang from Quantumania came back, and you know, found the Kang Dynasty and then killed the leaders of the Kang Dynasty and proclaimed himself. But the thing is that his statue was in the stadium that they were all in because he was the one who was in charge before they exiled him because he wanted to be the only Kang in existence. So they were like, well, that's not cool.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's kind of weird it was weird that they introduced him in Quantumania and then killed him off in Quantumania, which I was like, wait, what? Why would you kill him off? I thought for sure he was gonna get through that portal and be like, he's in our reality now. Shit. That
Well,
was
they did change the ending of that movie, so
yeah.
because the ending initially, from what I understand, was supposed to be Scott and Hope stuck in the quantum realm, and then
It
they
would've
changed
made
it
more
for whatever
sense.
reason. It
Yeah,
would have
would've
been.
made-
It would have given that movie more stakes than it had.
Yeah.
That's for damn sure.
And that would have set up what's her daughter's name to be
Cassie
to be part of the Young Avengers. So that
Right.
would have made more sense.
It
I
would've.
definitely thought at the end that Scott Lang was not going to make it out of the quantum realm. I was like, oh, he's going to be stuck there.
Like
And
the
then
way they
both got
marketed
out.
that
I'm like, oh.
movie, they give you the idea of like, oh yeah, Scott's not making out of this, and it's like, and you guys don't at all follow through with
They did that to
It's like,
Ant-Man and Guardians. It was like, oh yeah, somebody's gonna die. Nope.
Yeah.
But
Well, James Gunn still killed some characters in that movie. None of them were Guardians, though.
No, but I do think that
Yeah.
you know when it comes to Kang Dynasty or the Avengers Kang Dynasty, if we even get that film, I think if you have the Kangs attacking the multiverse, I think you're definitely going to have at least one of like your legacy Avenger characters die.
Oh, for sure.
I think Clint is the one who's going to go because you got what's her name, Haley
Scarlett
Steinfeld, like
Johansson.
waiting, and she's super hot. But out of all of them, he is the one that doesn't affect everything as much as anybody else. You call off Clint, it's like, oh no, he's a family man. But it's like, oh, other than that, oh well. So I think he's gonna go and pave the way for Kate Bishop.
Yeah,
I think if any of the other legacy Avengers are coming back, it's gonna be like we're pulling them from this point in time. That way we don't fuck with the continuity of Endgame as much, right? Like if we're gonna get a Captain America, it's probably going to be like Winter Soldier or Civil War Captain America, and it's probably going to be like Iron Man 3 Civil War Iron Man that they're probably going to pull from.
Or I mean, I would imagine that they're just going to pull from a different universe.
Yeah, that too. That's
and
quite
it's just
possible.
like like, hey, what's going on?
And
who
that's
knows?
when you get your Tom Cruise Iron Man.
Oh,
No,
probably.
God. I mean, you
Quite
never
possible.
know.
But let's actually transition. We've talked about Marvel so far all today. We actually had a trailer for a certain Netflix movie that came out.
Garfield.
No, not Garfield. Rebel Moon. We have the trailer for Rebel Moon right here. Let's watch this and talk about it a little bit. Let's press play.
When I found you in the wreckage of that ship, I considered leaving you. I was afraid you could bring trouble to us.
The effects look so good.
What do you think they want?
Guys, it's Yellow Jacket with a beard.
I know.
We're
And the
just
guy from
farmers, we're
Deadpool,
not a
Francis.
threat. They won't just kill us, will they?
You're delusional. You think those soldiers will show them mercy?
In a Zack Snyder movie? Come on now.
You're like, watch her twirling. I wonder what she's going to do.
Fuck yeah.
We're gonna have to fight.
They're like, no, we'll just kill you. You're the
I am a child of war. I find warriors to fight with us.
We might stand a chance.
Sting?
We're searching for soldiers for a fight against the mother world.
Oh, yes.
I could help you. A small fee, obviously.
Charlie Hunnam, will it be?
I love that accent. I don't know why.
I believe that might actually be his natural accent, too.
I'm here to make you an offer. To give you a chance at redemption.
We picked him up straight from Gladiator.
We are being
Duna Bay's nemesis. Ooh, I can't wait to see her
What
character in
about
action.
revenge?
Okay, Jaimon Houndsman looks
This isn't
fucking
just
ripped for
pursuit
this
of
role, dude.
revolution.
His shoulders are huge. Blood axes!
I have found her. The most wanted fugitive in the known universe.
Mortal Kombat!
It's a new age for the universe.
Let's freaking go. That
Damn
looks
Skippy.
freaking
Damn
awesome.
Skippy. Oh my
You guys
God.
want to hear something funny though?
Uh-oh.
So, there is a shot in.
Oh, you're in
trailer.
this. You're the
No,
horse.
I'm not in any of
There
this.
he is right there.
Yeah.
But, I'm trying to find this. Okay, here we go. Where is it at? Where's
Him?
Where's the shot?
Them? Only
Come on.
rebels?
Okay. So, you see this person right here?
Yes.
It's attached to one of these things.
Yeah.
There may or may not be a picture of me attached to one of those
Oh, interesting.
that exists in the ether.
When you say attached, what are you talking about?
Like in
Meaning
the
he
movie, your
can't- if he-
face will be like
if he-
planted
if
on
he-
there.
If he has a fucking picture of it, he can't show it
Yeah.
until after December 22nd.
Yeah,
Exactly.
So,
So, like,
there may or may not be.
You held on to it and you wouldn't let go?
No.
Now,
that's-
did
you'll see what I mean.
Aaron Bailey potentially take or not take this picture?
May or may not have.
I knew it. Perfect.
Not confirming or denying.
Was this the scene
anyway.
you saw?
For sure.
No.
Did you see the
All
scene?
this was new. Most of this was new to me.
fucking talk about
No,
it.
I don't want to know what it is, but did you see the scene that you saw him film in the trailer?
No.
Okay.
That's all I'll say. I don't.
Okay.
As far as I'm going to go into getting into that, but I'm super stoked for that. Obviously, I feel like that got a lot of people more excited as well.
Yes. Looks good.
I'm just freaking excited.
Looks very good. I mean, this is gonna scratch the itch I have for sci-fi, considering Warner Brothers pushed fucking Dune Part 2 to March.
Yep.
So I'm so excited to see this for various number of reasons.
Yeah, and the ticket sales for the limited viewings, or I guess screenings,
They went on sale today.
went live today, and can't go to one, but I guess I got to go to the set, so it's fine. I'm fine to not see
There
it
you go.
theaters. But
Check out Andre's character breakdown. It's the only character breakdown that you'll get.
Shameless
on the
plug.
internet. And yeah,
I can tell you right now, if you go online, there really isn't one that exists.
no one else is making them. He is cornering the market in Rebel Moon.
I cornered the market, and it's in the corner. It's scared. I'm like,
it's terrified.
Check it out. It might not have the best audio quality, but we
this one
stand
has
behind our
superb
product.
Dolby
Christ.
Atmos. But no, this movie looks fantastic. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. I think it's gonna have brutal action, which I love. It's gonna have that like serious, darker tone that Zack loves to bring. And this is gonna be Zack Snyder just fully unleashed and doing his own thing, which is the best way to have Zack Snyder. And I can't wait to see it. Now, one of the questions I wanted to ask Dawson was,
He can't answer it.
he can't probably.
Well, let me hear the question.
Did you by chance witness any of this footage in the past?
What?
Some.
I was gonna say because
Some of it.
That's awesome.
Like there was a good chunk of this trailer that I hadn't seen before, but there was some that I had seen.
I
That's-
may or may not know a thing.
What
or
does it
two
say?
about
His
this
audio
too.
sounds like he's getting ready to tell you to apply the lotion.
What?
I don't know what he's talking
Now, what
about.
you're going to do is
And then you want to take the bottle and you want to turn it upright.
I may or may not know a certain thing about a certain character in this movie, and
Oh, he's
that's all I'm
talking
going
about
to say.
the music. That's what he's talking about.
Oh, Anthony
Oh.
Hopkins.
Well,
No, he's talking about.
are you able to say what you
PXL, I
can?
believe.
Or... What's up, Phil? What do you know?
I cannot say anything.
Oh.
I am legally bound by certain other people that I cannot say anything about this.
You're in a similar position that I am. I see.
Yes,
Does that mean
yes, we
that-
are in very similar positions. This is what happens when you get to go to LA and have fun with a bunch of friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You mad? You mad? Good. You should be mad.
What the? why am I?
Silence of the Lambs. Come on, you guys. It's a movie reference.
Silence
Yes.
of the Lambs.
Yeah.
Ah, that is a side because
I wanted the voice. Yeah,
I get it now because Anthony Hopkins. I get it now.
but it's gonna be
fly
really good
SOBU.
though. I really can't wait to see this. And then you got the prequel comic for the Blood Axes that'll be coming out fairly
Yep, true.
soon.
And I already pre-ordered the novelization of the movie on Amazon.
And
So
the video game is
I haven't heard anything about that since there was that weird legal issue.
yeah.
I don't know if there's been any updates on that. It's been
Okay.
kind of, mum on that. I don't know, but hopefully they get something figured out with either an RPG or something like that with the movie. And
So the biggest question I want to ask is, this whole time we've been really, really, really excited for Rebel Moon, and Ryan keeps saying, "Show me a trailer.
Yeah.
Show me a trailer. I can't get excited until I get a trailer. Ryan, are you excited after you've seen this trailer?
Oh, yeah. Hi, how you doing? Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, no, I mean, look, Zach is always, phenomenal at visuals.
Yeah.
And so I knew that this thing was going to look
Phenomenal.
pretty phenomenal. I mean, look at Man of Steel. And,
300.
as far as like, I think that's his, that's the bar for Zach,
Yeah.
and,
fair.
that movie right there just has visuals that stand up. Like we were talking earlier, you watch movies for, like Spawn, or you watch Jason X or whatever, and their shit just doesn't, it doesn't hold up. But if Zach had been a part of that and he was the visual director, and in charge of the visuals for those movies, they would have been a lot better, and they would have, still held
Zack Snyder Spawn film.
Not
Man.
a Spawn film by
That'd be
Zack Snyder. I'm
dope.
talking about, if he just
Let's
had
talk
been in
about
charge
that.
of the visuals at that point, because he would have been young in his career, but they would have looked better, I think.
They would have.
And they would have held up, and they wouldn't have been as easy for us to laugh at. And I think that Rebel Moon looks really good. As far as visually, it looks good. There's some things in there that I'm like, okay, that's kind of odd, but whatever. I'll wait for the film.
Sure.
But the biggest thing for me for Zach is always story, and like how okay, so he's great at world building, right?
Yeah.
And
And character
development. But his stories sometimes don't land. And this is him unhinged, and he can't say anything about studios or anything like that, and meddling and all that. And I want to see how well these two movies, how well this stuff adds up. Like Army of the Dead was a fun movie, but it didn't really intrigue. Like I think Dawn of the Dead was a better film, and that's just me. I think he was more seasoned, a seasoned director, creating something, for Netflix or whatever for Army of the Dead, but it just didn't. It was a fun movie, but it didn't land for me as far as like, I'm itching for more.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping for Rebel Moon that's because you're talking spinoffs, all this other shit. So I'm like, okay, cool. I know visually it's going to be great, but I want something that's going to be sound as far as like story.
I think
I'm still really frustrated at the limited screenings they're having, so limited. Like at least the Army of the Dead, you had like
those
some
are the only
theaters.
screens that Netflix owns.
Yeah,
That's true. Yeah, I think in Ryan's case, I think Rebel Moon might probably land a little bit better because it's just kind of more in like his wheelhouse in certain respects.
And again, Rebel Moon is gonna hit a soft spot for me because I don't like the sequel trilogy from Star Wars.
This is what you're looking at, right? This is what you're hearing right now is Ryan moving the goalpost, saying, "Now it's not about it's not about
I never
being
said
hyped for the movie. It's about can he tell a proper story." So you're moving the goalpost now.
I'm not moving the goalpost because I did say that I was excited.
I
for
need a
seeing
trailer.
the visual.
Now you're like, well, I got to see if the story lands. I mean,
Nah,
what is it?
I moved zero goalposts. What's up, Rhea? I
What's
moved
up, Rhea?
zero goalposts.
What is up? Oh,
I think it's a natural progression. Now that he's seen the trailer, he's like, okay, yeah, I'm impressed. Now I need the natural progression from that. Will this story land for me?
Don't have his back. Dude, we got to pile on right now.
Are you fucking serious right now,
Ryan?
Are you serious?
Trailer, you're ungrateful.
You ungrateful piece of crap.
Jesus, tap dancing Christ.
But no, I think that because I don't like the sequel trilogy, I think that the darker tone and the more adult story that Zach is going to tell with this will probably hit better with me.
Yeah.
And it'll probably I'll probably gravitate toward a lot more than the Star Wars stuff that I've seen.
Yeah, for sure. But speaking of darker and more mature storytelling, we have the thumbnail, of course, for the show being the poster for Invincible Season 2, which the first 2 episodes have premiered on Amazon Prime. I guess Phil's checking out. So first
I've seen
and foremost,
the first episode.
First episode? Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to talk about the first episode last week, but man,
I actually
I rewatched the first season with my little brother the week before because he hadn't seen it, and I rewatched it with him.
Little brother.
Yeah, my little brother. He's with me here. But I freaking love what they're doing in the second season so far. I actually started listening to the Invincible podcast where they break down both the comic and the show, and I really love what they're doing. One thing we're not going to talk about any spoilers here because, of course, a lot of people are wanting to watch it. But one thing that I love that they did is, of course, season 1, they had the whole like title card. Remember I said Invincible is just invincible across the screen?
Yeah.
4 different times they're like, oh, he really is, pause, invincible. And then they kept on going with the scene, just teasing the whole title card drop. And that cracked me up quite a bit. But from what I've, heard from people
I chuckled once, but yeah.
But from what I've heard from people who have read through the comic more, because I'm barely scratching the
I think
surface
it deviates.
Well, the first season they said it deviates more, but they said the second season so far is a lot more like the comic than the first season, which is pretty cool. Like I'm all down for comic accuracy, especially in an animated show like this. But I love how it opened up. It basically, what it did is that the first episode of the first season ended with a banger scene. The first episode of the second season started with a banger scene that was just like, what the crap is happening? And then kind of eased you the rest of the way into it. But I'm really liking these first 2 episodes so far. And Ryan, you said you saw the first one, right?
I saw the first one, and it was, the first episode was cool. It was just sort of like, kind of getting you back into that world and like, hey, this is sort of the aftermath, kind of give you a little BVS, vibe. Like, okay, because of what happened with father and son, this is the world that they're dealing with at, present time. So, here you go. So, yeah, I haven't seen the second one yet, but I liked it. I like, like you said, they're like, they say Invincible now and there's pause and all that. And, and they don't, cut to the title card or anything, but it's good. Yeah, I liked it. Andre.
I thought the first episode was fantastic. I know our good friend, Mr. Pale J, didn't like it. I didn't have enough action, but I love the fact that you got to see the quote unquote, the nightmare future of, what happens if Mark joins his father and they take over the world. I love seeing that, like that alternate reality where he joins up with him. He's a villain. And you get to see Adam Eve. She has a shaved head, scars, and then he grabs her neck and he's like, "Stop!" And he's like,
"Oh, Mark's brutal in that."
He's
Also,
like, "Oh, you paralyzed her." I was wondering what you were doing the other day with those civilians or whatever. You know what I mean? I just loved it. I was like, "Oh, this is badass." Now the guy with the huge brain, that guy.
You're talking about Kang?
No.
Kang, yeah, Kang.
No, it was that Levy, I think is his last name. Yeah, Levy.
Krang. You're talking about
Krang. Basically,
but we haven't seen enough of that guy to really get a good grasp of like what his influence on the show itself. I mean, we got to see him in the first episode a lot, but I think we're going to delve more into him as it goes on. But I really like the fact that you got that alternate reality. Then you also got, you saw the aftermath. You saw how they're processing what had happened in the finale. You saw how his wife is processing how everything that happened, and they even have references to the Chicago incident, and even Adam Eve was like, "Oh, sorry, I shouldn't have brought that up. That's awkward." He's like, "No, it's fine, and he's so in a sense like traumatized from the event that like he's like pouring everything he has into being a superhero because he's trying so hard not to be his father. And
also, it's more of a distraction for him. That's a big theme of these episodes. Has just been the actual trauma that goes along with something like that. Like, because what Mark witnessed in his fight with his dad was ridiculously atrocious. Like, no one's going to recover from that mentally, fully anyway. And so the fact they really dove into that and then have him it's almost kind of like when someone goes through something really difficult and they just dive into their job to try to mask the pain. That's exactly what Mark is doing here in these first 2 episodes, which is just really, really cool and more down to earth in a sense. With this story. Now with the alternate reality that you saw.
Oh God, Dawson.
No, guys, come on.
Yeah. But what's interesting is
that's just rude.
But what's interesting about the alternate realities is that I've looked into some of the comics in the second compendium, or I guess the second major group of arcs for the story. And they do a lot of multiversal stuff, like they interact with the Pit, which is an Image Comics character from the 90s. He even interacts, I believe, with Spider-Man on some occasions. Like they have
talking about Invincible.
Invincible, yeah.
Yeah, he interacts with Batman. I've seen
Like
that.
Spider-Man, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, a whole lot of interactions in the multiverse. So it's like,
yeah,
the first season was so like just character and that one universe focused, and now they're really opening up whole wide worlds actually of possibilities.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, the fact that Robert Kirkman said they're going to try to have a season of Invincible on Amazon per year is really cool.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah.
Cool idea, cool concept.
Yeah, I see them getting to season 3.
I hope longer than that, but
honestly, I don't care. I checked out after season 1. Great voice cast. Do not get me wrong. It's got a phenomenal voice cast. That animation is just not great. It just doesn't do it.
What?
Yeah.
No, the animations. I mean, the only thing I don't like about it's character design, is I don't like the goggle looking things on Invincible. That's the only thing I don't like about his con. I mean, it looks just like the comics, but it doesn't really translate in 3D. I mean, I know it's not 3D, it's 2D, animation, but when you're looking at it, it looks like bug eyes.
did you guys also? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah,
they had
you're right.
The Guardians of the Globe. Did you get Andre?
cool.
Did you see the new guy they had introduced into the Guardians? He had the first suit that Invincible tried on in season 1.
Did he really?
Yeah, it's the same suit that he tried on.
That, but yeah, they have the new guy in there, and then they brought back Immortal again.
Yeah.
Like the guy just can't die.
Sever his head, it doesn't matter.
And him and Duplicate.
Oh yeah.
Dude's like thousands of years old. It's just like what, 19?
Yeah.
That's not.
Sounds like a Robert Kirkman thing to do, definitely.
But I was glad that they brought Immortal back, and that he's essentially the leader of the Guardians of the Globe, because you needed to have somebody else there to kind of balance things out, because it wasn't going to be Mark.
Sure.
Adam Eve is,
and Black Samson kind of did it a little bit, but
yeah, and he got his powers back, but he hasn't really done shit. But there isn't a true leader, and plus with what's his name, Robot.
Yeah.
Or what's his name?
Yeah, I think it's his name.
It's Robot. With him being an actual like a human like person now, it's kind of like, oh shit, now you're not like as strong as you used to be, because now he's essentially wearing the suit, and so now
he's actually in danger now.
Yeah, he's in danger. Yeah, it's not like, oh, the suit got blown up, here comes another one,
Yeah.
But no, I so far I really liked it. I thought the second episode was a little slower. But the first one, I expected it to be a little bit slower, because you had to show the aftermath of what had happened. And so to me, that made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cortez here saying Mark's apparently supposed to be in the same universe as Spawn. Well, I mean, it's an Image Comics character, and they're both in Image Comics. Well, Invincible's technically Image Comics Skybound Entertainment, but Spawn is Image Comics as well. So, I mean, yeah, checks out. They would, at least in some ways, interact, or at least their universes would to some extent. But anyway, I'm really enjoying Invincible season 2 so far. I'm really stoked for. I mean, obviously, people have been following my social media pages. You see, I've been drawing a lot of Invincible, so obviously, I'm enjoying it. But
you also drew the boys.
I did not draw the boys.
No, you drew them once.
Well, I drew them once.
Yeah,
one time. But
this is my thumbs up. I'm happy you like it. I just don't care.
Okay.
You don't like Invincible at all?
I just
look.
don't
It's not as
fuck,
bad,
dude.
Okay.
I like the boys. I think the boys does what Invincible is trying to do so much better. But that's
you don't
just
like
me
Invincible.
Personally.
I like them both.
But you
No,
like
they're great.
Capital N-O. No, I said the voice cast was
wine.
great. Like I like the voice
if
cast.
somebody gave you the choice and said, Phil, you can either watch Invincible or Birds of Prey, you'd pick Birds of Prey.
100% every fucking time.
Oh no.
Oh,
See, okay, let me put this to bed real quick.
I'm sorry, what the fuck?
When it comes between Invincible and the boys, Invincible has a lot of violence, which I'm totally cool with. But what the boys does, it takes it to other directions as well.
Yes.
The boys is badass.
I'm not.
Boys is fucking phenomenal.
I try to avoid. I
Yeah,
try
I
to
mean,
avoid shows that have things that the boys includes in it. Personally,
Okay, you
That's
don't want to
just me.
see someone going in inside another person's penis. I understand.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah,
I get it.
That's
I
pretty
get-
much what it
I
is. Yeah,
find that shit funny.
I'm not into that. So that's just me.
I find that shit funny. I found Herogasm to be one of the best fucking
that was
episodes
a
of
great
TV
episode.
ever. Period, bar none. Like and straight up, like
They're like,
the
TNT detonate. And I think
But okay,
and then there's also
it's
like
really painful
fucking
for Dawson to watch shows like The
Gen
Boys
V,
has to go.
Gen V was such a good accompanying series to The Boys. Now I'm even more hyped for season 4.
I have to finish that,
dude. I know.
But yeah, after he watches these episodes, he has to go into the bathroom and wash his eyes out with soap, and that's very painful.
Look, it's just not Dawson's bag, and I respect that. I completely respect that.
Like that's just that's his preference, and that's fine.
He's like
me being an animation dork. I just look at the animation for Invincible. I'm like, this is cheap as fuck, and I don't care.
I will say the animation it's very dull.
Yes.
And also too, whenever Mark gets into a fight with anybody, his goggles break every time. I'm like, how many fucking suits do you have, motherfucker?
And how does this
from?
shit like get in your eyes? It's like, what? It's weird.
Well, it's like, I know he's
I personally love the
his
animation style, but that's just me. I feel like the animation style kind of goes back to the glory days of the DC AU and how they animated their characters.
I disagree.
At least for me.
I disagree.
It feels very similar to that.
It feels cheap in the way that the DC new AU felt.
Oh
no, I don't agree.
I have to disagree with you there.
That's fine.
But I don't agree.
I have to disagree with you there.
Fine.
Because I think it doesn't have a lot of like high end shading and the color palettes aren't
it's very plain in that respect.
Amazing,
but
I'm
like, fine, whatever.
It's got charm though, and that's what the DC AU is lacking is charm.
That's true. That is very, very true.
For record, we're saying new DCAU.
New DCAU, yes.
The new 52
Deathstroke or the Superman, whatever, and above.
Oh, that's Tomorrowverse. I'm not referring to that. I'm referring to like, Son of Batman and Justice League War.
Oh, that shit's amazing. I like that. I like that.
I think it's fine, but comparatively to like the old DCAU, the Bruce Timm style animation, doesn't hold a candle.
Oh, I mean, I love the Bruce Timm, but that's a completely different genre,
right?
Of animation. I think that animation was very stylistic, and if you look at it, they didn't really refine it until after the Mask of the Phantasm. That's when they spent more time on actually
like when they got to
better.
Superman the animated series and like the new Batman Adventures.
When they got to when they did Justice League Unlimited, that's when they were like, okay, we've got this shit down. But like, the old Batman, the animated series before Mask of the Phantasm, they were still trying to find, they were still trying to hone in on this style. It was good, but it wasn't great.
Yeah.
But speaking of animation, there was another trailer that came out today. It was for What If Season 2.
Yes.
They did say it was coming this year. They did.
You did. Now, I really enjoyed What If Season 1.
Had some hits, had some misses. But yeah.
It did. My main question is like, what things can you do now that you've already done like Marvel Zombies and like Ultron, like actually getting the Infinity Stones? Like, what do you do after that hits as hard or is as intriguing, if not more so, is my question.
You do some animations with Kang.
Yeah, I guess you could do that. But I can't remember. Is Disney one of those that like really cracks down on trailers?
No, Disney.
No,
they're the ones that you can play.
Okay,
well, Warner Brothers is the
like Rebel Moon we just saw. That's going to get hit.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
But let's bring up the trailer for What If Season 2. We'll watch that and we'll give a good reaction to it and talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's bring this up.
Yeah.
And here we go.
God, this animation style looks so cheap.
Yeah, I'm really not a fan of the animation style either. I mean, sometimes it works, but sometimes on the whole, just
I don't like this.
It's just computer generated.
Yeah,
it's the same thing they use for Star Wars Resistance, and I couldn't stand it.
Yeah.
I do like that this episode is like a 1980s riff on certain Avengers that we've seen before. Like Ant-Man is clearly Hank Pym. The Black Panther is his father. Like I like that. I like the concept. I don't know who the fuck that is. Nebula. They did say they were going to do some Shang-Chi in season 2, so that's cool too. That's cool to see.
Yeah, well, everybody forgot about him, so they need to remind him.
Oh, fuck off.
Mad Max.
They don't care anymore.
Like, what is this?
This, I think, is like, because you do see the Grand Master from Ragnarok. I think this is another spin on like the Grand Master's fucking tournament type deal. because this clearly takes place on Sakaar.
Yeah.
Hey, there's no sound, right?
That was Ego too.
Dawson, like you meant to have no sound, right?
I'm fine with no sound.
Yeah. And we've gone this far.
Yeah.
So we're revisiting Infinity War.
Yeah.
Clearly, and we're also revisiting a bit of Shang-Chi there, fighting some of the Asgardians, because that was clearly Odin. Now that's a new
Pocahontas.
That's a new character actually created specifically for this series. I don't remember the character's name, but
yeah.
Interesting.
Pocahontas.
Now, Killmonger as a Black Panther, that's gonna scratch some itches that a lot of people have, definitely.
Yeah.
Now, what's really interesting is they're doing season 2. They're dropping it on December 22nd, but every day after that will be a new episode. That is completely different from how they did season 1, because season 1 was weekly, just like any other series that they've done.
What is it about this animation style that just...
It's just
it looks...
It's just super weak.
Yeah, the animation style, like you said, Phil, there's some moments where it hits, and some moments where it just doesn't. Like lighting is a big issue, that animation style sometimes.
It's like overly they overly use the shadows, and I just don't like it.
Yeah, a little oversaturated, but I don't know, some interesting concepts in there. I mean, I want to see a list of the episodes and what the titles are. I think that'll really reel me in on some of the episodes and get me intrigued. The whole line of I don't do sequels normally was like, that's a little overtly meta for my taste, but whatever. It probably won't even be used in the show at all, but
it was nice that Jeffrey Wright's like back as the Watcher. That was a big W for me personally. I like his voice.
Well, and I think too, it's weird because like, we're going to be doing Secret Wars, but the Beyonder was the one who originally like assembled the villains and the heroes and all that. And so like I kept thinking like, okay, so after this, is he going to get so fascinated by all the heroes that he's like, hey, I'm gonna do take them to a battle world or whatever. I don't think it will, but I mean,
I think at the very least, I wouldn't be shocked to see Jeffrey Wright's Watcher pop up in Secret Wars at some point.
Well, I think if you're going to deviate away from Kang, I think you got to find some other means of getting everyone together again. But
sure, yeah.
I just think that when it comes to like Deadpool 3, we've already heard so many rumors that the TVA is involved in Deadpool 3, and that he and so. If they're involved, then it has to be Kang has to be the villain, the main villain going forward. Because it's like, why would they be involved? And all of a sudden, oh, Dr. Doom, that's the villain. It's like, wait, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, I'll just have to see the listing of the episodes in order to really be intrigued by that. There were some cool shots, some cool action sequences. I mean, that was a big thing for the first season, is that it action sequences looked pretty cool. But again, with the trailer for the first season, you saw like Marvel Zombies, you saw Ultron with Infinity Stones, you saw all these like awesome concepts, but now it's just like, again, we'll have to see. We'll see in regards to.
I was just as excited for this trailer as I was for the Ultraman trailer.
Ultraman!
Oh yeah, that's right, Ultraman on Netflix. Yeah.
Oh, forgot
they were doing that. Yeah.
Forgot that was a thing.
They showed that like last week, if I'm not mistaken, sometime. For Geek Week,
what was a good trailer was Godzilla -1. I thought looked really
that movie
good.
looks fucking incredible.
Okay, I haven't looked too much into this, but what the heck's up with that title? Godzilla -1. What the frick is that all about?
I read about it a while ago. I honestly don't recall why they did -1. It's kind of
I thought it was like a prequel at one point. I was like, oh, it's -1, like before the first one.
Honestly, I thought it was a sequel to Shin Godzilla, but it's not.
Yeah,
I just figured it was some like Japanese title that they had like translated over, but it's like, which is like okay, but like I don't know, it just doesn't really make sense to me.
They translated over wrong.
Yeah, I mean that happens sometimes. Or like there's not a real like good translation for a title, and so they just kind of go with the next best thing that they can find. Because sometimes that happens. I mean, heck, we have some movie titles here that like other places doesn't quite translate, and they're like, okay, well here's a different title that kind of reworks and maybe sounds better or worse. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not necessarily a huge Godzilla guy, but that always was odd to me. But sticking with some superhero stuff, there was some announcements of casting that were made today, or at least one that I'm aware of as far as the DCU is concerned. Andre, you had found one, or I guess Phil or Andre, one of you two had found the main one. was for a member of the Authority, I believe, or a villain.
Oh yes. What's her name? Alicia Spick, I think it is. That's the character name, but they that's it. Thank you.
So, I've got the exclusive here. Forgive me if I mispronounce this name. Maria Gabriela de Fiera has landed a breakout part as Angela Spica, aka the engineer in James Gunn's Superman Legacy. There have been a couple other regurgitators accounts on Twitter who have been like, "Oh, this is the villain of the movie," and it's like that was never at all confirmed one bit. She's a member of the Authority, which is in more of an anti-hero-ish type of team, not necessarily straight up villains. So there's been a lot of misconstrued words in terms of like, oh, she's one of the villains of the movie. No one knows who the villain of this movie is yet. That's set in fucking stone. Like, we will not know until someone gets cast as such.
When they started running with the idea that it's the villain, I was like, wait, I don't know if that's entirely true, because she's a member of the Authority, so I could see her being in the film and you know, having maybe some kind of conflict with Superman. But if she's part of the Authority, wouldn't you imagine that that it's just a way of introducing a member of the Authority to show that they exist within, you know, that universe? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. As far as like characters in the Authority, that's one realm of DC Comics that I'm not as knowledgeable on. So like whenever they announce a character from the Authority, like, oh, this is cast, I'm just like, I don't personally care. That's not in my wheelhouse. But yeah, they keep adding on to the casting and such. And there was there another one, or was that the only one?
No, he announced a writer for
oh, that's right. Yep.
Oh,
that was yesterday, I think.
Yeah,
that's right.
And Ryan's extremely excited for it too.
Look, anybody who writes the Vampire Diaries is totally got my number.
you know, my wife was like heavily into that show. It's crazy.
Well, she might like Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow.
I mean, if you read Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, it's right.
It basically writes itself.
It's such a James Gunn type story that I was like, oh yeah, I could see exactly why he chose this.
Also explains why Tom King's probably is on his writer's room.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like his go-to is Tom King.
Yeah.
But we'll see how it turns out. I mean, look, it's clear that, you know, Superman Legacy is going to exist within a DC universe that already exists. I mean, there's a ton of characters already, you know, scheduled to be in this film.
Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal, thank you.
He's Lex Luthor.
That'd be funny. That'd be really funny.
He's Batman.
Superman.
Could see that happening too.
Speaking of which, we actually had this too that I was going to share. This came from James Gunn. I think it was today. Let me pull this up. Somebody asked him, "Will we be getting a Batman casting announcement anytime soon?" He says, "No, we don't even have a script yet." So anyone looking for a Batman casting, apparently we're not going to get that anytime soon.
That's not going to happen until they have a script, and that probably won't even be done until sometime at the end of next year, give or take.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
and that's if Andy Muschietti stays on for that film. I mean, there's a chance that he might even depart.
Well, he's still working on the Derry TV show, the Welcome to Derry for Max. So I'm sure once that's all fine and wrapped, he's probably going to focus all his attention to Brave and the Bold.
That's the It spinoff, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And also, I mean, they attach these directors to these properties, you know, just they're placeholders. You know, I mean,
in some cases, yes, they can be placeholders, but in other cases, they want them working on this project for as long as possible because they want to see that vision all the way through. He did mention that they are looking for directors for Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow now, and apparently he's looking at female directors, which doesn't at all shock me. That's not a scoop. That's nothing new. That's nothing burger information.
Exactly. Yeah. That's a bunch of assumptions. Everyone's saying he's likely to get a female director, but he hasn't come out and said that. Everyone has said it for him, so we don't know.
Well, it's also like the trend. Like whenever you make a female lead movie, the trend of Hollywood is to try to find a female director.
If I were him, I'd hire a guy just to throw everybody off. Like, yeah, I hired this guy instead.
Yeah, pull a Toby Emmerich and hire the guys who did Miss Marvel to do Batgirl. Brilliant idea, especially after they said they were getting a female director to do that.
Oh, there you go.
Never let them know your next movie.
Not even trying to throw shade. I'm just spitting facts.
I mean,
but it's fun to think about too, because I mean, like. Even fucking speaking of David Zaslav, the guy that was going to supposedly save the Snyderverse, he came out the other day and said, yeah, or he talked about the writers.
Yeah,
he was like, we probably should have paid him. This guy
probably paid him a little too much, but hey, and it's just like,
yeah, he even saying that is like, dude,
shut up.
Like,
shut the
don't
fuck
be so
up.
tone deaf, you know.
Well,
like,
I
this
mean,
is the guy who makes
Bob
like,
Iger said some shit like that too recently.
Of course he did.
You
They
know,
all
I mean,
do.
they don't give a fuck, dude. Look, it's all politics. It's all bullshit. It's all you know. I don't know, man. I just look. The fucking strike's over. Let's see if these people can write themselves out of these.
Fucking hilarious that they completely reversed the decision on Coyote versus Acme like within a week to go from shelving it to being like, yeah, let's just shop it around. It's like, yeah, no shit, because you don't want to lose your rapport with any directors you have currently working with you, dumbass.
Yeah.
That was some bullshit. And they were like, oh,
fucking nonsense.
Department of Justice is going to get involved with this. Like, get the fuck
yeah,
out
they
of here.
are.
I mean, I'm not
my
gonna
God.
lie.
Come
I had
on.
no idea there was a Acme or like Wild Coyote movie happening. I had no idea. Then also like, oh, we're shelving it. It's like, you made that? Like what?
And completed it?
They yeah, it's done. It's on the shelf. They're like, well, fuck it.
It's like,
But-
what the
but
fuck are
here's
you
the thing,
thinking?
When
though,
did that
yeah.
happen?
I like that they got called out for like, hey, look, dude, like, yeah,
What
you
you're
did it
doing is
before.
wrong.
Like, you can't keep doing that to save for a tax break. It's one thing with Batgirl that like it was partially unfinished. Even that was kind of shady. But when you do it to Acme versus Coyote, it's kind of like, what the fuck? Why would you do that? I don't know. It's
Yeah.
kind of weird. I don't get it.
Yeah.
But that's all David Zaslav. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, he has to make that decision. And it's so far, I haven't really been impressed with anything he's done as the head of Warner Brothers, Discovery Media, whatever the fuck.
Oh, frick, Ryan, what do you got for us now? Oh my god!
It's official.
Did you make that?
Oh my gosh!
No, he didn't make that. That's been circulating online for like the last hour.
Why make him a giraffe?
Buenos dias.
He's just standing there. He's just like,
I just saw that. I was like, oh my god.
Like, oh, it's just his neck too.
It's just the neck.
That's so uncanny.
That, you know what, it reminds me of Ezra Miller, that shot of him in the Flash costume where he had a super long neck.
Oh,
Yeah.
He was like,
Oh my
that
god!
was
I mean,
you know,
I could see this. I wouldn't be mad about
Phil.
this.
After you left the other night on Dave's stream, I posed the question. I said, "What would you guys rather watch, the Marvels or the Flash?" And everyone chose the Flash, even though that movie's filled with all kinds of
That's
of
hilarious.
fuck ups.
I mean, I'd have to agree with him.
You
You
haven't
know,
even
the Flash
seen the
had a lot of
Marvels.
flaws, but it was.
I mean,
it was-
look, the Flash, at least for me personally, like it's got two Batmen in it. It's got a super person in it. Are the effects great? No. Is the story fine? I suppose maybe to some extent. There's some beats of humanity in there, sure, but like I haven't seen the Marvels
Sing
yet,
off the screen.
so I can't even I can't even fairly say which one I'd rather watch. I still got to watch the
Yeah.
Marvels.
The Scoob sequel.
Yeah.
Fucking on the shelf, just sitting there, like, yeah, put that over there, whatever.
I still never even saw the first.
I never saw Scoob.
I did
know,
watch the
but
first
still,
one. First
a
one was fun.
finished product. They're just like, nah, forget it. They can't put it on streaming. I guess there's more contracts involved with that. Who the hell knows?
Yeah.
It's so stupid. It's just so stupid. Why do you make these projects and say, you know what? Let's pump the brakes on that one.
You
Let's
ever
go ahead
feel
and
like-
shelve it.
This was probably a project greenlit before Zaslav got in the picture, and then he probably took one look at it and be like, I don't give a fuck if it tested well. Put it back on a tax write-off.
Yeah.
That's just my guess. I don't know. Like we've mentioned with like not Days of Future Past, but like Dark Phoenix and New Mutants, like when a new regime comes in, new owners come in, like shit changes. Like they're gonna look at what they have in the folder and they're gonna be like, yeah, we can tinker with this, or yeah, we can probably shelve this, or yeah, we can fucking release this as is. But they have their own plans in mind, and I'm sure that's exactly exactly what happened with Batgirl. Clearly,
Whenever you do an impression, David Zaslav, why do you sound like a 1920s baseball announcer?
That's how he sounds.
because that's how David Zaslav talks.
We're gonna make
exactly
a
how that
highlight on
works.
this project.
Babe Ruth at the bat here for the New York
Yeah.
Yankees.
We've
We
got
are-
Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, and Sex in the City here.
Yeah, we are going to end the Batgirl.
We are going to the moon.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty sad when you've got Peter Safran coming out and like going to bat for David Zaslav, being like, yeah, Batgirl didn't really fit with what we were trying to go for, but it's like, yeah, but you guys kept the Flash on the docket.
Yeah, and that didn't do
They
anything for
sunk
them
too much
either.
money in the Flash. They did
That's
not do
true.
the same for Batman.
To be fair, you're right. You're
They
absolutely
were
right.
trying
They
to
stuck a lot of
recoup
movie
some
into
of
movie.
that.
And I don't even put that on the fault of Eddie Muschietti. That dude's hands were tied with that film.
I think someone also put in the chat, there's a report from discussing film, or The Insider is what it is. I know. It says Javier Bardem is reportedly the top choice to play Galactus in Fantastic Four.
That's been circulating for a hot minute. He's just regurgitating bullshit.
Yeah, makes sense.
He got a little bit of traction today, so now he's just circulating more shit.
Yeah.
That's like you make a YouTube video, and, oh, it got a hit. Well, here's another one. You're just like, whoa,
this one's a banger.
Typical Jeff Snyder. Hey, let me go ahead and give you guys a bullshit Fantastic forecast, and then not even 5 minutes later, one of the people in this bullshit goes, yeah, I'm not part of it. And then in the same fucking stream, he goes, well, actually, it might be this. And it's like, okay, first of all, Jeff Snyder, you are a fucking disheveled rat. Nobody likes you in the journalist community. Just learn to shut your fucking mouth once in a while. That's all I have to say about that. Bam.
Hey, that's all he has to say on the matter.
No, it's just dumb.
I still love that line from that movie.
I'm not a big Rian Johnson fan, but that was a clever movie.
It was.
It was clever until that one part when they started destroying the glass sculptures. After that, it got dumb.
Yeah, that part was kind of dumb.
But everything until then, I liked.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
With that.
Oh my gosh. Let's see. Is there anything else we haven't covered yet that we wanted? We've talked about Madam Web, got Invincible, Marvel's, The Office, box office for that. What If, Rebel Moon, DCU casting, Doctor Doom. Was there anything else?
I don't think so.
I think we covered everything.
Wow, look at that.
Let's kick some ice.
You know what? Now that you brought that up, there is one other thing. Very Little Batman finally got a trailer.
Oh yeah,
and it looks cute as fuck. That movie looks fucking great.
Remember this one? Remember this one? Jack Quaid as Johnny Storm.
Yes, that's what I'm referring to, Anthony. You're absolutely right. This is the same disheveled rat who put that shit out there.
Yep. There you go. What's up, Jason? And Merry Little Batman. That's of course it's Warner Brothers. So like they would really crack down on us for that. So I don't know if we're able to watch it.
It's Amazon.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's Amazon. Oh, we might be able to do that. Hold on. Let me
I would safely turn the audio off just to be completely safe, but just
Merry Little Batman trailer.
Dawson lives on the edge.
Yeah,
he does. Sad he does.
That's what I do.
He's like, sometimes I watch
PG-13. So is this just basically like it's just a Christmas show is what it is? Or?
It's a Christmas movie. It's a Batman Christmas movie with a younger Damian Wayne tasked with protecting Gotham after Batman goes off to assist the Justice League and gets stuck in the snow.
Okay. Let's watch this. I got the sound turned off, so
you have captions on? Turn the captions on.
Oh, captions. Yeah, I got captions on.
All right, cool.
Here we go. Okay.
The animation's a little goofy, but it's fine.
It's very like Super Jill meets Flapjack.
Oh, wow.
But I'm okay with that.
Yeah. So he just hates Invincible's animation.
Yes.
But he loves this one.
Oh, I do. Absolutely. This looks fun.
Is that Bruce with the beard?
Yes.
He's a lumberjack.
This looks like what is that? The Disney stuff.
Oh, Gravity Falls.
Yes.
Yes. Very much in that same vein, yes.
That's a horrible Batwing. If a Batwing.
He kept the beard.
Why does he have a beard?
I love it. Because it ups his intimidation game. So Luke Wilson's actually the voice of Batman in this.
Oh God. Hi, I'm Batman.
Look, Alfred's hella old.
Alfred. Okay, everyone is fucking old in this. Just wait till you see what Poison Ivy looks like, dude.
Uh-oh.
Oh, is that her, the old lady?
So there's the Joker. There's the Penguin.
Very Batman Returns-esque type of Wayne Manor they got going on.
There's Bane.
Oh my gosh, was that that's the Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Dad made me a bat suit. This is so cute.
It's hella big.
Wait till they get a load of me, the Batman 89 callback. I love it. I just love it.
Just bombed them all.
So
I know.
Who gave the kid bombs and they both raised their hand? That was fucking hilarious. Mr. Freeze actually has an Arnold Schwarzenegger accent. And there's Poison Ivy.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, they made her super old.
Old. Yes, everyone is old in this, dude.
Huh.
I like how he has the beard.
I am so game for this movie, but then again, I'm also kind of a Christmas freak, so I'll take what I can get.
That's interesting. I'm not a big fan of that Gravity Falls-esque animation style. It's almost very similar to that Aquaman show look, too.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I can't disagree there, but I think this does it better.
Okay.
That's just
Yeah. I'd seen like the thumbnail for that on the timeline earlier today, but I hadn't watched it yet. But that's interesting.
Wait till you
Okay.
wait till you guys actually hear the voices. Ryan's probably gonna cringe, but
About whose voice?
any of them, all of them.
Oh, okay.
I am vengeance. I'm the knight. I'm bad.
Yeah.
Man, I'm the worst dad ever. He says it so nonchalantly. Oh, it's so
my
funny.
gosh.
I'm the worst dad ever.
And
It's too funny.
that's coming out on December 8th on Amazon
Right.
Prime.
Yep.
Right? Okay. So I mean, if you want a Batman animated Christmas movie, there you guys go.
There you
Yeah,
go.
guys go. Check that out, December 8th. Other than that, I think that covers everything we wanted to talk about here today. We had a lot.
We are getting close to the 2-hour mark. Soon we would like to wrap these things up. I would like to appreciate everybody for kind of showing up and chilling with us.
Indeed.
So, and all the super chats, that was great. You guys are fantastic.
Yeah.
Totally not planned.
Yeah, from, of course, our friend Sean and Connor Dorian, who is a newcomer as far as I can recall. Appreciate the support from all you guys. And as always, be sure to go check out some cool t-shirts on Zeeverfett's TeePublic, as well as some art prints on DJWArt.com. Got a new Invincible print coming your way. We'll be having some Christmas deals coming up. And also be sure to go check out all the different social medias for everybody. Be sure to go do that. And anything you guys like to say before we sign off here today?
You want to check out the Rebel Moon breakdown, character breakdown from Nickatina. It's the only place on the internet that you're going to find an extensive character breakdown of each one of the characters that are releasing for Rebel Moon. Each character he dedicates 30 minutes to each character.
No, I don't. It's funny because there were a few characters that had almost like nothing. I had to dig.
He started making it up.
No, I had to search far and wide just to get a little bit of information on some of them. Like Belisarius, there's not a lot of information out there about the character, so I had to go through multiple sites to try to find.
He had to look into Greek mythology, and he pulled out a banger. So I mean, make sure we got a lot of fact checkers out there. If you could watch this video.
But yeah, check out that video. I also just dropped one about the MCU. That's been out on the channel today. So yeah, check it out.
And you did a review of the Marvels as well, if I'm not mistaken.
I did. My audio was crap, but I decided the movie's crap, so I don't care. And so I just kept the audio the way it was.
Nice quality control. Very reminiscent of Marvel Studios.
I was going to re-record it, and I was like, man, I don't got time for this shit. And I was like, I'm just going to use it. I don't care.
That's exactly what Kevin Feige said about the Marvels.
I
don't give a shit. They'll show up. They'll show up.
They'll show up. Anything I put out there makes $1 billion.
Not even.
First one made $1 billion. This one will be fine.
Had nothing to do with that game at all.
NBD.
It's funny that the original came out right after Endgame. Oh, no, it came out after Infinity War.
Yeah.
And then when this one's about to come out, they're showing scenes from Endgame. To try, it's kind of like you just can't shake it. You can't.
Nope. Definitely can't.
Nope. And thank you, Sean. It was a great breakdown.
Remember this? Remember good times?
Remember happy
Remember
times?
what we used to be like?
Take me back.
Those writers.
I think,
and then even to take it a step further, you got the Marvel diehards going, yes, our Lord and Savior Kevin Feige, teat suck, teat suck, teat suck.
If we go out and support the movies, they'll hire better writers.
Well, how amazing you see where they were like, this was such a great movie. I loved watching this. I watched that movie. I was like, okay, the first half you can tell that was the original concept, and then it just took a fucking nosedive.
Well, so there's a lot of the reviews are just I actually had a lot of fun with it. Turn off your brain. It's like movie tickets are $12. I'm gonna pay to go and just turn off my brain and just accept what's happening.
I even said it too. I was like, the movie was kind of fun because in the first half it was kind of fun, and then after that, when you got to the meat and potatoes of it, it was like, oh wow, this is fucking stupid. It completely falls off the map. You're just like,
And
okay,
RJ, my
ran
response to the
ideas.
new Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League game, it's still happening?
Yeah,
it's still
they
coming
released a
out
clip today.
the footage.
PlayStation released a clip today, and it looks just like fucking Fortnite. It looks
Yeah,
like
I
they haven't
knew
changed
it.
anything.
I was just gonna say it's DC Fortnite, and I don't give a fuck.
No.
I do not
And
give
they
a fuck.
pulled the game back
This
to
is-
revamp it, and I
this
knew
is-
they were. It's like, dude, there's no way
They
they're gonna
revamped it
change
the
everything.
wrong way.
I am in shock and awe that this came from Rocksteady, who did the Arkham franchise. Like they did the Arkham trilogy between Asylum City and Night, and then they go and put this shit out. I'm like,
Probably because
what
they
the
saw
fuck are
the
we doing
popularity of
here?
Fortnite, and they were like, "Hey, let's just try to emulate that. Let's give them a
Absolute
version of that."
shame.
And then
Right.
It
It's
appeals
just-
to younger
all right,
audience.
go after that market. We'll make
Yeah.
money off of those.
Everybody
kids.
called them out. So they were like, "Oh shit, pull it back. We're gonna revamp the game."
Well,
But
first and
it's
foremost, like
absolutely
Fortnite was at its
shame.
peak, like what, in 2017, 2018? So like you're behind the trend a little bit if you're trying to emulate that as it
You
is.
still play that shit. I had coworkers like, "Hey,
absolute
you
They
shit.
just
play
released
Fortnite?"
the old
No.
maps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, they
Honestly.
did. And I know that because people on my timeline play it. I'm like, yeah, that's neat. I don't
Yeah.
care.
Never played, never
Oh,
had any
and
interest.
one more
Have
thing.
no interest.
I'm going to be doing on Friday nights. I'm going to be doing a crossover stream with William over at the Sci-Fi Center.
Nice.
And Brad will be there too. So we're going to try and do a crossover stream every Friday night. It's at midnight on the West Coast. So it's, you know, two of you will be in bed.
No one cares. No one cares. Do you care?
No.
Do you care?
You guys got any Benadryl?
See? No one cares.
And nobody
I
cares.
didn't do it.
But definitely tune in
Was
Friday
not me.
nights.
Was
Yeah.
not me because Friday is the first stream of DC United, so everyone be sure to check that out when that happens.
Hey,
Around
What time is that at?
4 p.m. PST.
Okay.
Okay.
You're like
So-
at 6 o'clock.
No, I'm not trying to do 6 o'clock. No, I'm not trying to
on
like.
Dave's stream.
No, that's exactly it. I don't want to like try and overlap
Yeah.
with anyone else who's doing Friday. So, and I think he's probably doing his vodka stream at 7 if he's doing one on Friday. So I know last week he did it Saturday. So yeah, we'll see. We'll find out.
Hey, I'll actually be able to listen live. Like, hey, there you go. Finally, a show that I can actually listen to that doesn't take place at 2 a.m. my time. Dave Pena. It's like I can't really watch it live. So freaking late for me. But anyway. As always, appreciate you guys all watching. It's always fun. Great to be able to catch up all you guys as well here on the panels. And with that, I guess Well, I won't be in town next week. I have Thanksgiving stuff with family.
Yeah,
So we'll figure that out.
We'll figure it out.
I don't know if we're gonna do a show next week
Yeah,
just
we'll
because
see.
of
We'll see.
Thanksgiving. See what happens.
Yeah,
Is it on
but,
Thursday?
but if we don't see everybody this next week,
You're dumb.
but if we don't see everybody next week, we hope you have a fantastic time. Hopefully with friends and family, or just enjoying the Thanksgiving
Happy time.
week. Yeah, turkey stuffing, getting extra full, extra stuff. There you go. And with that, we'll see you guys later.